Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to post-episode issues. The Walking Dead, Season 5, Episode 15, Try. And I'm Phil, the Issues Guy from IssuesProgram.com. With me is Joe Dirty Locks. And the real question as we start this episode, Joe, are you enough of my friend that if I was going all crazy Rick Grimes and everyone was around, would you knock me the fuck out too? You love me enough to knock me the fuck out when I need to shut up?
Not in that situation, my man.
Yeah, you're supporting me too.
There is a time and a place for that kind of behavior. That was the time. That was the place. I had a problem with what Michonne did. I had a deep-seated problem. She did a very bad thing. I also think Rick was about to talk himself into a spot he couldn't come away from. But
I think he already had.
I mean, but to that point, I think he pretty much already had, and
I loved it. I loved Rick Grimes in that moment. I was cheering him on. I was out there eating popcorn, watching Rick go, fucking tell these people. Fucking tell. I loved Carol's face through the whole scene, smiling her ass off, holding her gun, waiting to back him up if need be.
Sam clinging to her.
Watching the porch dick asshole get his fucking ass raped, fucking cock ass beat by Rick fucking Grimes. It was beautiful, man.
It was beautiful. Hey, it was absolutely beautiful. I agreed with it. It was actually ends up being self-defense in that moment.
Oh yeah.
But you cannot trust that woman to say so.
Nope.
He was just there plotting. He told me he would kill him for me. There's a lot of shit that can go bad in this moment right now. He should have maybe picked a different. It was an inopportune time, but it wasn't a time of his choosing. It just happened to work. The timing worked out good and bad in a way.
Kind of chose it impulsively.
We were the lucky ones because we got to watch it all, and it was really fun. And we were excited to talk to you about it too tonight. So if this is your first time checking us out, we're the Walking Dead post-episode issues. We like to talk about what just happened in the episode and get right to you. I'd like to thank everyone in the chat room who's already pumping, going like crazy, talking about it. Ren Redwood, Tara Chan, Melody Vision, Steve, Richie A. If I missed anybody, sorry. Anybody else who's Brohawk Riley, welcome Brohawk Riley to the room. It's just great to have all you guys in here to talk about this Walking Dead episode. And if you guys, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Jump in the chat room. You can also, if you're watching this at a later time during the week, jump in the comment section below. You can also email me at IGetIssuesMan or tweet me at IGetIssuesMan@gmail.com. Well, the second one was the email. The first one was the Twitter. And you can tweet Joe at DirtyLocks. And we actually already have one tweeter from Anna Banana who says, the shit hits the fan. Go Team Rick. Die Dickless Nicholas. And oh yeah, go fuck yourself, Deanna. We own this town, motherfucker.
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
Anna.
Yes.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. A lot of people, too, are going to start comparing this version of Rick with a version of Shane that we saw at some point who thought when he was fighting for his woman and
Just
maybe
for the record,
possibly a child, but no.
Joe, just for the record, though, he did quote Shane. If you ever hit her again, I'll kill you. After he beat the shit out of him, he said he quoted Shane right there. Specifically.
Yeah, I think there might have been another Shane quote in there.
I loved it.
In that speech about I think there was they probably threw something else in there, not just if you ever hit her again, I'll kill you, because that's quoted in every fucking TV show with an abusive person ever. Like, you ever hit her again, I'll kill you, and then she ends up dead.
Brohawk Riley says he'd knock my ass out if I was going too crazy. And Tara Chan says the Alexandria safe zone is full of shit people aside from Aaron and Eric. Absolutely. And also, yes, let's talk about that quickly. Let's just get out of the way. There was no Abraham tonight, no Father Gabriel, and no Maggie. No reaction to what we saw at the end of last episode with Maggie listening to Father Gabriel. That happened somewhere else. Maggie's trying to figure out what to do somewhere.
Here's the thing, Phil. I've known you a long time, so if we are together,
you've shut me up at a party before. You've shut me up when I've been out of control at a party before.
Okay, but here's the thing.
I remember.
If we are together at this point in the apocalypse, okay, Phil, and I want to be very clear about this. And I am running up to you, both seeing someone choking you on the ground and you rolling over and choking them out. I want this to be very clear. I am not knocking you out. I am in fact coming up and kicking that motherfucker in the face.
Yeah, me
Yeah.
too.
I am going to stomp his head
Oh,
until
whoa.
it is splashed
Okay,
on the
that's not
ground,
cool.
because if he dies any moment after this, he's going to turn into a zombie, and that's what he's going to need.
Oh, boy.
So, yes, it is
God.
knife to the back of the skull time to anybody that's taking fisticuffs to my family.
Fisticuffs.
Period.
Yeah, it's,
Period. There is no question about it. There is no, I don't know what's going on. Who could be right? Who could be wrong? Oh, no. Period, plain and simple. You win in that scenario, and I don't know what the fuck is going on. I don't care what the fuck is going on. We fight, and they die.
No, you back your
Period.
man.
I back my 13 to the fucking bloody end. You're going to throw Rick out? You're going to throw Rick out. The man that brought us here, that saved our lives countless times. No.
not to
No,
mention-
sir, you are not. The man that bit somebody's fucking throat out to stop me from getting raped, I'm going to knock this motherfucker out in this
Joe,
moment?
Joe,
No,
I'm going to jump
I don't
on
think
board
so.
with you here. I'm going to add to your rage. Not to mention, Michonne just showed the fuck up. She doesn't know what's going on. You don't know why Rick's going.
Yep.
You automatically take those other fucking people's side. You don't take back Rick's side. What the fuck, dude?
Seriously. Seriously.
Nope, there is no way I knock your ass out. And everything Rick said is the truth.
Yep.
These people don't fucking get it. They don't understand. They don't know what's going on out there. And they need to be shown. You fight or you die. It's exactly the same out there as it is in here. He is going to kill her. There is no free pass in this. There is no, oh, you contribute more to the group, so you are allowed to beat somebody.
Yeah, because
that
you're a
is not
surgeon.
how fucking
Yeah.
life works anymore. Period. Either we all live together, we are all one, we are all equal, or we kill the person that thinks that they are above us, that they are allowed to do this to us. We are all one person, one community in that world. And the 13 better stick together, and that's all.
Yeah.
I'm infuriated by how that went down. Every single, in that other fight, when Daryl jumped right the fuck in, I'm gonna kill this other person. That's how all of them should have reacted. They all should have just killed that mayor's fucking son and his lackey right then and there. You attack fucking Glenn, you die. That's it. That's it.
I do want to say Daryl wasn't going to kill the dude. He restrained him and told him, I will kill you if you try anything from here on out. You want to kill people.
So, no, you don't.
Oh my gosh, I saw
do it.
Katie
You don't
Dan.
do it. You show aggression. At this point, there's no jails. There's no, we're going to exile you so you can come back in the middle of the night and try to kill us
Yes,
all.
but if you
There's
can-
none of that shit. There's you fucking wrong us. You try to kill us. You try to hurt us. You die. That's the only punishment in this world that I can see.
Knife to the back of the head.
Knife to the back of the head.
When Rick is talking to Deanna earlier in the episode, he makes it absolute right. In this world, you warn people to do something, and if they don't listen, they die. That's the law now. It's not. Let's get them in a court and argue their case and discuss things.
What are you gonna lock this? Like you're gonna separate this person? What's he gonna do? Listen. Okay, you're gonna try to punish me. I'm the only surgeon in town. Guess what? I'm not gonna be your fucking surgeon. Go fuck yourself. Don't come back with any bullet wounds.
Well, you never
Like-
trust him to operate
right.
on you.
What? And then when I get
Anyway.
shot, I'm gonna come back. He's gonna heal me. He's gonna surgeon heal that wound. The guy who beat him up in prison advocated against him. Fuck that. This guy gotta go.
Well, I don't trust him as a doctor anyways. He's torturing his wife and kid
Yeah.
on a regular basis.
Exactly.
You are not a healer.
Absolutely.
Like, those are not
Absolutely.
skills.
Where's
Dan.
your-
They're
Where's your
abusive
what's his name's vow? That
Hippocratic
hypocrite.
oath.
Yeah.
He's just doing it to get more work, so he
First,
can
do
show
no
himself useful. He's
harm.
like, my family's just really clumsy, and I'm really needed. I'm a surgeon over here. He's going around beating people up just so he can turn them into clients. What the fuck? What an asshole. Joe, the world is behind you right now 100%. Anna Banana, I'm behind you 100%, Joe, from Twitter. Scott Dakota, exactly, Joe, preach. We have many people say RSA saying preach, Joe. Terrachan, I love you, Joe. Now we can predict deaths because they're actually sharing the screen with minor characters, except for who's going to die. Melody Vision, Deanna did see that Pete was a danger. She said she thought he would stop. It will get to that. The bitch knew the doctor beat his wife and let her get away with it. Joe, preach, preach, preach. We got tons of Joey preach. So
Deanna's
let's.
pathetic.
No. And here's my thing. Deanna is no better than fucking rapey cop Don, because she's allowing that to happen because he's a surgeon and he can help us.
Worse,
You don't know how many
Joe.
lives he
Worse.
saved, so who cares if she wants to get beat? Let her get beat. No, fuck that. That's not how it works.
Joe, I think
Well,
she's
it's not
even
just her.
worse.
It's a kid. There's a kid
There's
there.
a kid involved too, right?
Well, but Carol's mom now.
Deanna's worse. I'm saying Deanna's worse.
I
Drillhawk,
am too.
Brohawk Riley says it reminds me of the hospital doctor, remember?
Yeah.
Only because he could be fixed people, otherwise they would have killed him. And Brohawk Riley also says, good point, but I'm starving and tired, and if you have a cracker approaching my mouth, I'll knock you the fuck out. Tell him Oh gosh, here we go. So let's get into this episode. Let's get into the recap here. Here we go. So I'm glad that
Heavy stuff.
I'm glad we got a lot of cool stuff in this episode. We got a lot of we did not get continuation of the Maggie, Father Gabriel stuff. We didn't get any more of Abraham, but we did get to see Carl tonight and his girl finally. We got some of that, and we got to see Carol moving on to casseroles from cookies. She's graduated here. She's really remembering her cooking classes. So let's start out this episode. It all starts out pretty weird but pretty cool. It's the night. The episode opens up and we see a Walker kind of wandering over the pictures that Sasha shot, which is a good kind of parallel that we keep coming back to in the episode. I really like the Sasha stuff in this episode again. It's understated by how amazing the Rick stuff was, but another great job by the actress that played Sasha in her, or just as an actress in her performance. The looks in her face. I personally, we can get to it. You can bitch about it when we get to it.
I don't dislike. No. I am about to agree with you.
Oh my God, you agree with me?
Yes, her acting is wonderful. She's great. She was a great addition to the cast. But I just hate. This is like all those Law and Order shows where the cop, each and every single one of the cops in the squadron breaks down and is going to kill a suspect, and their partner has to come and be like, "Don't do it. It's not worth it. You know you can. You're better than this." And then the next week, it's the cop that talked the first cop out of it doing it to a suspect, and their partner is saying the same shit to them. And it's just, they can fill up in a 22-episode season. They got 9 episodes every season. That is the exact same fucking thing. And we've seen this with every character. We saw it with her brother. We saw it with Rick. Everybody's having their breakdown. Everybody gets a chance to talk someone out of it, and that's annoying to me.
So let's get a couple of questions or a couple of comments in the chat room before we move on to the recap. Ren says they have a choice. They can either live in my world or die in the old one, as Rick said. Or, oh wait, Daenerys Targaryen there. The beginning was weird with the music. Yeah, we're going to get to that in 1 second. Sam Crow says, Deanna is stupid for kicking people out. Look what happened to the governor. They thought they were gone. They show up out in the fucking blue with a tank and an army. Yeah, we'll get into that in a little bit.
Dangerous.
Dakota says, Deanna is so fucking clueless. Tara-Chan says, Carl and the girl is so unnecessary and a bit forced. Better turn out that she's evil or something. That was so bad, especially the slow motion. That was horrible. But whatever, we'll get to that later. Tuna casserole, and I think Carl and Enid were cute. I do think they were cute. I liked everything but the slow motion scene.
Come on, you got to give Carl. Carl's got to have a girl eventually. Why not give it to him now? Are we going to keep him a virgin until he's like 29 or something?
No, they might as well play Dreamweaver there. They might as well been playing Dreamweaver, and Garth was like, she's super. I just mean in the slow motion section. I agree that they need a girl, and I liked everything that they did with them. I just didn't like that particular moment of when they showed them
cheese.
Yeah, when the extra bit of Lumburger cheese there, Katie, when they slowed it down and they see them like running, like we know. That bothered me. So, anyways, the episode starts out with this Walker and Sasha looking at him, and then we see Deanna and her family mourning the death of Aiden. And they mourn in a weird way. They take one of his run mixes, something that says run mix, and she puts it in a nice stereo that they have, and they start listening to some Nine Inch Nails. Was it Trent Reznor or Nine Inch Nails? I'm not sure.
It was
Nine Inch Nails.
It was Nine Inch Nails.
It was Nine Inch Nails.
Is there a difference? Oh, what the other guy isn't there? The other couple of guys, like it's different other guys. There's still Trent Reznor wailing over Trent Reznor's fucking synthesizer.
Right. The other important members of Nine Inch Nails besides Trent Reznor. So they're listening.
I've seen Nine Inch Nails live. I love them. They're great.
I've seen them 2 or 3 times. And the last time I saw them, just quick aside, he actually played with a band. The first time I saw him, he played with musicians that were pantomiming, and he just beat the shit out of his musicians while he sang his songs. It was pretty hilarious.
I saw him from the pit open up for Jane's Addiction the last time they were.
Yeah, me too. I was at that show, Joe. Anyway, so we continue on. They're listening to
we're all there.
They're listening. I think all 3 of us were there together, actually.
We were together.
So he's listening to the morning family music of Nine Inch Nails, and it's pretty interesting scene. And the song plays while we switch over to Carol cooking up a storm, the tuna casserole, as someone said before. And Carol's cooking up a storm. She's making the casserole, not cookies this time. And she's trying to write something on a card. And I just thought this scene was very hilarious with the music as a counterpoint to Carol trying to come up with words to write on a greeting card. It's just one of those humorous things. Like Carol trying to be, oh, what the fuck should I write here?
That's hilarious too.
Yeah,
and especially for a card you're just leaving on the porch. Like, don't you actually hand it to him?
Well,
like,
I think she had Sam, right? Because he showed up in the window.
Yeah, Sam's her bitch now. Sam's her cookie bitch now.
I think she's resigned herself to the fact that she can't get rid of this kid.
Yeah, she's nanny. Here's my really? That's your run mix? That song's on your like I want to go for a jog is that like?
I think his run mix like go on a getting supply run.
Go on a get people killed run.
Okay, not
Get
like
people
a
killed run.
Yeah, exactly, Katie. My getting people killed run.
Yeah. See, I've seen in the comments about this loud music thing. It's meant to draw the zombies away. It's just a bad idea altogether. It's not going to work. It's because it draws the zombies from the other side of town towards the town.
Do you know what works, Joe? Do you know what works? And I'm going to quote Terrachan here: "Mysterious, haunting, badass survivalist Enid using alarm clocks as sound traps. Things like that work on a one-on-one basis if you're not a killer to allow yourself to survive." And I thought that was a very cool Batman-like moment for Enid.
It was clever.
It was clever. It was using noise to distract a zombie, but we've seen many things work for that.
I just thought that was
a one-time bomb. How many egg timers are you going to carry? Like, yeah, that was a great find, great use for a tool that you don't need.
You go back and collect it later. After the timer runs out, like Daryl does with bows. You go back. Yeah. So you basically just have one or two that you have on you at all times. It's just a good way to survive when you're not very tough.
Yeah, it's a neat little trick.
I liked it. I think everybody liked it. It was cool.
She's a clever girl. That's a good thing to know.
Dakota says, "I want Carl to be a virgin until he's 30. I don't want any 60-year-old pregnant during the apocalypse." Tara Jane says, "No, I don't mind Carl having a little thing, but it felt forced and unnecessary." That's what I agree to. I think the scene felt forced because we haven't had them in a couple weeks, so they had to speed up time with their relationship to show you that stuff has happened. Yeah. So they didn't ease it in over a couple of episodes. It's just we haven't.
They've been hanging. They've been video gaming, and he's been like a couple times they've left camp. He's followed her now, so he's done it before. And I like how she's so easily able to avoid Carl. It shows that. You know, as much time as Carl's been in this group wandering around, he hasn't spent enough time with Daryl.
Oh, yeah.
Like, if I were Rick, anytime Daryl was like, I'm going out, I'd be like, would you mind taking Carl with you?
Mm-hmm. Teach him some stealth. He has no stealth.
He has no idea how to be stealthy. He has no idea really how to track so well because he can't track her. He loses her every time, you know?
Dakota says, with you, what's with these idiots and their loud music? So Sam's peeping through the window, looking at her make the casserole, and as we were saying, she just knows at that moment that Sam's her bitch, and she can have Sam do anything she wants. And she, even though she yelled at him and showed him all that, she's the only thing Sam can really count on right now. So we also
Sam knows she's not gonna hurt him.
Absolutely.
He thinks.
It's like, yeah, because he can tell she gives him cookies if he's good. What's Daddy do if I'm good? He just ignores me, and when I'm bad, he hits me. It's one or the other.
This is better.
This is way better. So Sasha's holding the rifles and aiming at the walkers' heads, heading towards the community gate, and she's just going nuts, holding it in. But you can see she's trying to control herself, and but she just shakes off the confusion, and maybe she just doesn't like Nine Inch Nails or something. But she sees the walker kind of walking towards her. Then we cut back to Aiden's family crying at the awkwardness of the music mix, and the brother comes up and just shuts it off to the dad.
No. The dad's like, turn it off, turn it off. I like Nine Inch Nails.
I love my son. His taste is horrible.
My son has horrible taste in music. No, I like Nine Inch Nails. I'm just kidding. So,
yeah.
So Deanna finds the casserole, but Dad doesn't like it. Why couldn't he have been into Perry Como? Oh, shit.
I don't even know my son.
Yeah, I know. Oh gosh, why? So Deanna finds the casserole from Carol on the door with a note on it that says, "I am truly sorry for your loss." Deanna leaves the casserole out and just on the floor. She doesn't give a shit about no casserole. And then she goes inside and she burns the note. She's got fucking zero fucking hell and crap to give about fucking Carol and her fucking casserole. She's like, fuck this shit.
I'm sorry. She got to go. Knife to the back of her head.
Deanna?
Real fucking quick. Take out her husband so there's no words of opposition. Because I don't like her delegating her. I just know what's best for people. I completely disagree. You sent fucking Noah out there. You should have sent fucking Rosita out there way before you sent Noah out there. Abraham out there before you sent Noah out there. Like, you put oh, he's a big guy. Let's make him a construction crew worker. He has better talents than that. Yeah. Like, yeah, okay, it's going to work out. He's going to be the foreman, and he kept them all safe, and it's good that he's there. That's whether it's her divine knowledge or, you know, accidental. He should have been on that run. Rosita should have been on that run. There's no. Where the fuck are their people? It seems like there's more of us that us. More of the 13 that have arrived than there are people living here.
The 13 of Karth, Joe? Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. Every time you say the 13, I start thinking, sorry. Change the subject. Let's get to the chat room a little bit before we move on. Terry Chin says the worst line was the whole thing about Rick saying he would only do this for her, that when she asked him.
I agree.
We're going to bitch about that when we get to it.
I've been biting my tongue. I've been biting my tongue.
We'll definitely talk about that. Ren, do we think that Sasha's looking for the people in the pictures? I think she's just looking for anybody she can get a fucking hold on. Richie says Sasha shooting zombies with W's on their head everywhere, yet she was. And Tara Chan says, yes, we've seen that one picture a few times. They keep coming back to that picture, which is crew of The Walking Dead, as people have seen The Talking Dead know that. Rick says, I think Rick is pussy whipped before he gets it. Oh my gosh, I saw a trailer for the next episode. Carol is my spirit animal. Fucking awesome. Carol says, Unit is involved with this external group that will attack Alexandria, maybe. I don't know. I'm starting not to think so.
This episode makes me not think so.
Yeah.
But then again, she knows Carl's following him, so you don't go back to camp.
Yeah.
If you're being followed,
very true. Good.
Don't come back here. Make sure you're not followed.
Isolate him.
Right. And if you don't come back, we're gonna tie your mom up and kill her up on a tree.
So Joe, amazingly enough, we're still not to the cold open yet. So let's go on a little bit. So she burns the note and eats the casserole, or ditches the casserole and leaves it out for someone else to eat. I'm sure Daryl, when he gets back, will eat that shit. He'll find it out in the street and be like, oh, fucking casserole, I'll eat that. And then we get Daryl struggling through some grass, and he shoots a walker. Aaron comments that there's more walkers than usual, but doesn't seem to see people. And Daryl,
it's pitch black. It's nighttime.
It's pitch black at nighttime, and we can see one little light in the distance where Daryl points out.
Daryl tells him,
someone.
He's like, shh, there's someone here. And way off in the distance, you can see that fire going.
Right. And then we get our credits rolling. And here we go into Nicholas the dickless cocksucking piece of shit. I saw you guys in the chat room writing earlier. What a piece of cocksucker. He's getting up there on my fucking shit list. He's not Father Gabriel's shit list, but this guy's a fucking slimy.
Oh, this guy's way, as far as I'm concerned, this guy's, what, I don't know what Glenn's thinking. He should have fucking murdered him in town. He should have came.
Who's hiring your shit?
Killed him. Stuffed him in the back of that fucking van. Or hit him somewhere, and then on the next run, dumped his body.
Oh, my.
Scott Dakota says, Joe's answer to everything is knife to the back of the head.
It's not the answer to everything. But when you think about what this group has learned, okay, like, really what this group has learned is there is no... The society has fallen to a point where if you're not a good person... you're a bad person, and if you're a bad person, you're going to do bad to us. We cannot let you do bad to us, therefore, ergo, death for you. Knife to the back of the head. And at least you get the mercy, because I'm not going to leave you alive for your zombie to come after me or go after someone else in that chain reaction that Carl learned about back in Season 2.
You're a giver, Joe. You really are. You're a giver. You're a giver.
I will give you the mercy of death. You're no longer here for this world to cause harm and havoc.
Oh, Sam Crow's asking the question I'm trying to ask you here, which is important. Who to you is number one on your shit list right now between Gabriel or Nicholas the cocksucking dickless?
Oh,
Worse,
Gabriel.
worse right now.
Gabriel's slithery and insidious.
You know, here's the thing.
Katie
Right
says
now,
Gabriel.
Gabriel's only used his mouth to harm people.
Right. He hasn't officially got anyone killed except for his whole congregation.
You know, this passive.
Aside from now.
Passively, he got everybody killed. This is
Worse.
You know, here's the thing. I am still not at. You don't know if people are bit. You don't know if you're letting in bad people that are going to hurt you as well. Like, I'm not.
No, I'm more pissed at him for what he did recently than all of that. To be quite honest.
Well, yes, because that was a very slimy, backstabby thing, and words hurt, and his words could have gotten them in trouble. It could have Rick exiled because that influence is in her mind now after Rick did the shit that he did.
Yeah, he's a slow-moving virus. Nicholas, he's gonna be picked out real soon because he's not smart, he's not quiet, he's just stupid.
yeah, I'm gonna go still with Gabriel's on the shit list most of all.
Okay.
And that's basically for what she just outlined, and that's true. Nick is too much of a nothing. I don't think he's got enough brain or brawn or guile, charisma, or any of these things to actually cause enough.
I thought you were quoting a Survivor season. You were like brain, brawn, beauty, or something. Sorry.
Oh my!
that was the last season. One of the last seasons of Survivor was called that. Anyway, so Deanna's watching a recording of Nicholas tell his lies. I mean, his side of the story about the supply run. Nick says that Aiden was shooting a walker trying to save everyone, or he calls them roamers. Excuse me. But yes, Glenn distracted him by pointing out that he had
here we go.
a grenade on his belt, and he says he wanted to run, but Nicholas was going to stay. Was trying to get them to stay, and Glenn wanted to run, and he's just a lying prick. What were you going to say, Joe? He's just a fucking lying prick.
And that's just it. They're both lying pricks. They've both had their lives saved on multiple accounts. This kid had his life saved. We can say maybe when Tara and Glenn end up killing the tied-up zombie because they weren't handling that well.
Yeah.
Then we can say that his life was saved again, both when they all made it into that storeroom at the warehouse, then when he was able to run away because Glenn and his partner that was dying were distracting the zombies, then when he sacrificed Noah and Mullet drove by, Eugene drove by and allowed him to get out. So on that one day, he had his life saved multiple times by this group, and he still went in that house and spat lies and venom.
Yeah, still a lying sack of shit.
And advocated for this group to be thrown out. It's all the same exact shit Gabriel did, only Gabriel hasn't passively or hasn't exactly gotten anybody killed in this group like this guy did.
Yet.
Yeah, he almost did when he escaped through the hole and he came back and he had them undo the door to let him in instead of just going back in through the hole that he came out of.
DJ Better says both need a black knife to the back of the head. Big Sexy IND says, hey guys, I can't stay for the whole show. I'm in the hospital. Oh, we hope you're feeling better. Sorry, hopefully it's nothing too serious and speedy recovery. But Deanna believing Nicholas is fucking bullshit. I don't think she did believe him when it really came down to it. As we see her watching the video, and while this is going on, we see a counterpoint of Glenn telling Rick. I thought the scene was done really well from just a theatrical standpoint of having two things going on at the same time, a counterpoint, and hearing both voices, being able to understand what both people are saying at the same time, and everything that he's saying, Glenn basically telling the truth of it to Rick, and Rick just sitting there with this like motherfucker, just pissed, just adding fuel to the Rick flames. He said he made us, we made him stay so he wouldn't leave. Nick just kept going on, hitting the glass, pushing it. Glenn says, it's just great. Nick says that they did it, it was them. And she asks, why'd you come back with them? Deanna says, okay, no guns, no one's going out past the walls until I investigate this situation. And Nick's like, they're bad. What do you need to investigate? And she said, I've seen a lot, Nick. I need to look at all sides. And she's watching back the video, and you can tell she just kind of thinks it's bullshit, but she still thinks that these people are venom because her son wasn't dead before they showed up. I think that's what probably what she's feeling in that moment, that I'm starting not to like these people.
Yeah.
Uninvited guests.
And Glenn should have been a little bit more clear of "I know what you did" too in that whole exchange with the kid, because the mother doesn't know what they did by abandoning those other people.
Tara Chan says, I think she's just on the fence. I don't think she necessarily disbelieves Nick. I agree. I think she's not sure what happens, but I think she trusts Glenn more than she trusts Rick, so she doesn't think it necessarily jives with what they're talking about Glenn. At least that, but who knows? She doesn't know these people. Right now, she's probably going to trust these idiots she knows over the people that are stopping and actually fucking making sense. Nicholas would be #1 on Arya's hit list. Yeah, he would. Fucking piece of shit. Stab this motherfucker in the throat. Needle this motherfucker. So Rick explains to Glenn that the community is just a bunch of children, and they can't look. They're like children wandered into a middle of a conversation, and they can't help themselves. That they shouldn't have to answer to anything Deanna says. Fuck themselves. Fuck these people. But Glenn disagrees, and he says, we are these people now. Noah believed in this place. We got to make this place work, Glenn says. And do you know what Rick says? Rick gets distracted by Stephen King's It, which is playing at a local theater, and he's going, Georgie, the balloons! I can see the balloons, they all float! And he goes and chases a red balloon and runs off. So I thought this was hilarious. Carl says, Deanna will believe Nicholas. It fits with what Gabriel's saying. I tend to agree. Nicholas will be #1 on Arya's hit list. Yes. Tara Chen says, yes, he would. Oh, my God. Carl says, Deanna would believe, or about, yes, he would. Oh, my God, to Arya's hit list. Carl says, Tara Chen says, yes, and the fact that she's in mourning would also help the way she feels. And now with this stuff with Rick, she's going to, it's all going to pile on. But it's all going to go on Rick's fault somehow.
It will. I want to make a Melody of Vision made a point too, and yeah, Gabriel does have a certain loyalty. I agree with you there. He's been with them a lot longer. You're right about that, Melody.
Right, yeah.
So that's the one difference, is that even though they both deserve it, Gabriel still deserves it.
Yeah, Nicholas has no reason not to lie and try to preserve his own safety and security.
And
Gabriel, he's been with them. He should be loyal.
Absolutely, Katie, 150%. Where this guy is. This guy's one half of a team of people that we got introduced to saying, hi, we're douchebags.
Yeah.
So it's like, what could you expect from these guys other than douchebaggery?
They were upfront about their douchebaggery.
And I have to say this. Right from the beginning, the only person I can blame at this point now for the death of the mayor's kid is Glenn.
99.
By the way, Joe, I just want to read Scott Dakota's quick scene before we handle that. Glenn's scene was so well acted, you would think that maybe Maggie would be there to support her fucking husband.
Who?
Who's Maggie? Maggie has a husband. Wait, Glenn has a wife? I forgot. Holy shit.
I thought he was single. I don't know who that is.
Oh, Melody, you would prefer that. Honestly, between Glenn and Maggie, I would prefer that Maggie get killed off. At this point, it wouldn't matter. We already know what the show would be like without Maggie. We're not. Maggie's not on the show actually. So. Not tonight. Not that I don't. I love Maggie.
Faded into the shadows.
Who knows? Who gives a Tara Chan? Who knows where the flying fuck Maggie is? But yeah, I think
she's in that basement.
Oh, she's locked in Deanna's basement. Uh-oh.
Yeah, she's trying to figure out. Hopefully she's got Father Gabriel locked in Deanna's basement, doing a little fucking number on his ass.
Uh-oh.
And maybe the balloons mean 99 red balloons, says Richie.
99 red balloons.
Yeah.
Oh, 80s.
Dude, the chat room, you guys are going crazy. I love you guys. You guys keeping us going and making this all the more fun. Thank you for joining us live, guys. We really do appreciate it. And if you're listening to the iTunes feed of this later, because I know we got some iTunes subscribers that just listen to that feed, try to join us live right after the broadcast on the YouTube channel. It'd be really cool to do that and get your questions in live in your comments. So here we go. So Rick goes and he greets Carol, who tells him about the casserole. She wanted to make sure that Deanna saw that they brought that. And she's working the big game. No one's keeping a clearer head in this whole situation than Carol.
Oh, she's awesome.
She's not dropping the game. And she's kind of sitting there watching Jesse and her boys. Carol explains that Sam, when shit goes bad, locks himself in his mom's closet, and she gave him a bolt on the inside when Pete gets into one of his rages. He can hear his mom crying. She says that Sam once found Jesse outside, and he was like unconscious she was unconscious and bleeding, while Pete just sat on the porch drinking a beer.
Okay, I got a question.
Yep.
We never saw Max say this. Is this
Carol?
a real story from Max or
Sam?
Sam? Sorry,
Sam.
from the kid Sam, or is this a real story from Carol's past?
No,
that
he asked her for a gun.
He asked her for a gun. Yes.
I missed.
I'm talking about
Sorry.
the bolting the kid in a door.
Oh,
She
yeah,
woke
yeah.
he in the middle of it all, he came downstairs and she was bleeding on the floor unconscious.
Right.
Hubby was on the porch drinking a beer. Is that something from Carol's past, or is that something that this kid actually told Carol? Is what I'm asking.
Yeah, I didn't.
Is she
think
playing
about that.
Rick? Is she like, this is how bad it really fucking is, Rick?
She definitely knows all the buttons to push, and as I said, she's always playing a bigger game of Yahtzee going on.
That's why I'm asking. Like, it was like, I love the fact that the producers left that out, because it makes me wonder at least whether or not this was something that, how do I know Rick? Because this is how I know. This is what happened to me.
Manipulation from her. A little bit. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like.
Big Sexy says Gabriel needs the Joe treatment knife to the back of the skull. I just want every time Night and Beth. This is the Issues Program drinking game. Every time Joe says knife to the back of the skull, drink.
Drink. Knife to the back of the skull. Knife to the back of the skull. Knife to the back of the skull.
Drink.
That's a dangerous game.
If you're under the drinking age, you can drink water. You're allowed. Anyways,
I'm old.
so Rick asks why.
Or if you're twice the drinking age, you can drink water.
You have to, yes. Or if you're twice. Rick asks why she cared what happened to Jesse, and Carol explains, "You know why." And I haven't seen you, and I've also seen the way you look at her, and I think you care too. And this leads into what Joe was saying, that this could be part of Carol's plan, and she's manipulating him because she knows that Rick's got a hard-on for this chick, and that Rick, for the first time, someone else explained this, but it's a good point. I forget what podcast or someone I was listening to that said something like this. I'm stealing this thought, but it's a good thought. Rick hasn't had a lot of time to think about sex, but now that he's in this safe environment walking around, it would make sense that the minute he sees a girl that he finds attractive, that he could be led a little bit by his dick a little bit, because he's for the first time in a quote-unquote safe place in a long time. I
don't know. I think that could be true. If I think at one point, now, Katie kept mentioning throughout this episode that he looks like a tweaker, he's shaking, he's out of his mind, like he really seems a little, beyond, over the edge, or sitting on the edge, or walking that edge line. And I think at one point he mentions, who the fuck can sleep? So I don't think he's slept since he got to this town. All he can think about is how unsafe they are, how these people are blind, how they're going to get everybody killed, how am I going to take over this town to keep everybody safe? Like, oh my God, this woman's getting beat. Does she want to suck my cock? Like, it's all in there, and it's all like, been days now, and I don't think he's really slept at all.
Rick Grimes needs to get off. I think he needs it.
He needs a nap, and
I think everybody has to.
Yeah, but there's a reason why. I don't want to get too into it, but there's a reason why Maggie and Glenn has more of like a chill vibe. At least he's somewhere getting, or Abraham's sort of mellowing into it.
At the very least, the reason why we have opposable thumbs, Rick. Take a bathroom break.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Rick needs to get the edge off a little bit and start looking at the situation a little, and not take this girl as serious. I'm not saying his mission of what he's doing is wrong with these people. I just don't think this should have been the impetus to do it. I think this is the wrong fight to pick necessarily. Not that he shouldn't protect this woman, but he's leading.
No, I'm pretty sure it's exactly the right fight. It's just he went about it the wrong way. What I say still holds true, and I think that is a solid fucking argument, and I'm not going to wait for you to say no, it's not a solid argument. I'm going to take care of that. Nobody has the right to do it, and kick into exile is not an option.
Well, they keep saying that's basically killing the person anyway.
Exactly.
So fucking man up and do it.
I think he's overreacting. He's pushing himself in a situation with a married woman that he shouldn't be pushing himself in the situation. He should be there with Michonne, the two cops, doing their thing, subduing this guy, and Michonne's
not going to advocate to kill him.
No,
and that's the
she's
thing.
not.
Michonne is not going to advocate to kill him, and that is the only way to deal with this. I'm like, I can't, like, it's. How many chances do you give him? Because the only way, if it gets worse, he's so right. If it gets worse, she's dead. He's like, oh my God, if it gets worse, you're dead. That can't happen. I can't let that happen. Can't let him kill you, because then I'm going to have to kill him anyway, and your life would have been something I could have saved, something I could have protected, and I won't be able to live with myself, so I have to kill him first.
Scout Dakota says the only person running this town is Carol. Bow, bitches. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's just, I just think, I guess I think that Rick needs to. I agree with something Tara Tram was saying earlier. And we're gonna get to it. I keep biting my tongue, but when she gets into the "you'd only do this for me" whole thing, and we'll get to it. I'm sorry. That just pisses me off, and I think that's him just thinking with his fucking dick, and he should shut the fuck up a little bit. But whatever. So Rick asks why she cares. It happens to Jesse, and he says, "I know why you care." And she says, if Walkers hadn't got Ed, that she would not be standing there. Rick kind of smiles at her and says, "Yeah, you would," and walks off. And again, Tim Curry starts distracting him with the red balloon that they all float, and it's tied to a toy that belongs to Sam. And he has his gun kind of drawn, and he's like walking up towards it, and Pete comes up behind him, and he goes,
Rick, hey, buddy, what's going on?
What's going on there? And Rick just ignores him. He's like, "Rrr." Pete, and then he turns around, gives Pete the biggest intense eye fucking I've seen in a while. Like,
well, Pete tries to push the issue. He's like, "What's up, man? Hey, buddy. Hey, Blaine. Hey, I'm over here. Are you there?"
And this goes to what we're talking about here too, because Scott was talking about it in a different moment. But Rick is acting like that creepy dude you ignore at the bar. It's a little creepy. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, you know he's about to explode.
Yeah, he definitely should not have approached her in any way about the situation.
Not then, not on his own, not without a nap and maybe a jerk off first.
Right, like.
Scout also says Rick could masturbate. I'm pretty sure that's still a thing. We should establish that that's a thing. I don't think he has, though. I'm pretty sure he has.
Like, it's awkward. You know, the only way you get to masturbate is either if you're standing next to Eugene watching Abraham and Rosita fuck, or at the shit time. And you don't really want to be off for too long on your own. So, like, you get your business done, and occasionally, every now and then, you go take a piss and you say you took a shit, and you get your more business done. But you want to, you know, you got to be off on your own to do that. Like I said, unless you're with unless you're with Eugene. Circle over Abraham and Rosita.
So Rick's staring at the balloon that's tied to the toy, and Pete comes behind me, calls him Rick, and he just walks away. What? Pete's confused, and he's all like, what? And he walks away, and the camera pans down to Rick holding his gun behind his leg, and Rick closes his eyes, pretty much holding back every bit of energy he has not to just shoot this guy in the face. So speaking of holding back energy, Michonne wakes up and appears to be contemplating in a very frowny way whether or not to wear her uniform. She picks up a T-shirt, looks at the shitty One-on-One Studios T-shirt, and she has all her work shit on the bed, and she can't really handle another day in this bullshit land. And Rosita enters, and we actually got Rosita got a plot line tonight. They had her come and give us our update on Tara. Tara's hanging.
Katie didn't even really recognize her.
Not at first.
She was like, "Who's this chick?"
She's not wearing her shorty shorts.
She wasn't wearing her shorty shorts or
tank
her
top.
hat. And she looked good, though. She still looked good.
She looked better, I think.
She's still my favorite looking chick in the show. She took it for me.
She's a hottie.
She took it for me.
So she says, Sasha, that Tara's okay and hanging. I'm sorry, I got lost in the chat room for a second. Rosita enters and says Tara's hanging out in stable condition, and that's our one check on Tara for the night. And she says that Sasha's missing after her night shift. We mentioned Abe's also doing shifts in the tower as well. We get mention of that as well to know that Sasha's not.
Which is a better use of Abraham's talents.
Right, but we do get it for a second.
So now what do you got this guy? He's doing double duty. He's out all day working construction, and at night he's gonna be in the tower. Like,
maybe that's his thing.
That might be his.
Oh, I'm sorry, Carl. Thank you. That was Noah's T-shirt that Michonne was looking at. I didn't put that together. Thank you. That was Noah's T-shirt.
Why would? Oh, like from
Like
the laundry pile.
From the laundry pile or something like that, whatever. Scott says, not on screen. I just think he's going too hard at
Why
Jesse.
she got his shirt in his room? Wow, what's going on there?
Oh, Joe, I'm sorry. We sparked the masturbation conversation in the chat room. If you want some laughs, turn to the chat room for a while. You can get the masturbation conversation going on there. We got our good friend Big Kev. What's up, Mother Dick? Mother Dick was missing, but boy, did Maggie have a big episode tonight or what? I mean, whoa, they got to chill with all that Maggie screen time, Big Kev
Really?
says. Yeah, Big Kev, they really do. I think.
Excuse me. Thank you very much, Duke. I'm going to look into that.
Duke Chronic, yeah, good info.
Oh, Duke Chronic, welcome.
Yeah.
And
That
you
was my
guys-
girlfriend that said she wants to see that.
You guys are such a great team over there. I love
Aw, I can appreciate body.
And then let's all thank Katie and give Katie some love for getting close to the microphone. She's right off camera here, and we've got Katie as much more of a part of the show tonight.
Maybe I'll move the.
Maybe we'll move the camera out. We did see her hand. We've seen Katie's hand tonight once or twice, I believe. So we can hear her a lot. We can hear her a lot better tonight.
Spirit
out there in
fingers.
the chat room, and I'm really happy about that. So Rosita enters and says, "Oh yeah, tower's in stable condition." They talk about going on the tower. That Abraham's on the tower, and they go and search in the woods. And they go out and search in the woods for Sasha.
And see, this is a good thing. This shows that they're caring. They want to make sure that she's all right and she's not dead somewhere. This is a good thing. This is what they should do. And she should have told people she was going out. I understand she needs to go out, but there's a right way and a wrong way to do what she needs to do, in my mind. And the argument is if she wants to go out and die like Tyrese did, wants to go get herself killed like Adriana did, or Andrea did, or when Beth wanted to do it, and I'm not sure I have necessarily a problem with that. I would love everybody to be a fighter and survive and live in this world, but I gotta say, do things right. Tell people where you're going. The buddy system, something.
Yeah, just like the fire
and we still don't.
plan.
And it's good. She should be out. There should be patrols out, circling the area, clearing the walkers from the walls, from the whole area. Getting these people that are 13 should be out, learning the lay of the land, learning what's around the area, not just where that one shack is and hollow tree is. They need to know these things. So when inevitably it does, right, because this shit does go down, and it's gone down every fucking moment it can in the last 5 seasons. They have to expect it. What are you, stupid? Of course we need someone in the tower. Well, we need an escape route. We need multiple evacuation spots, meetup zones, times. One day after, D-Day, whatever that happens to be, we try to meet here. If you're not there, at day 4, we try to meet at this other spot. There are things that you do to survive, and there's ways to get you all killed. And they seem to want to get them all. We don't see enough of the things that we need to see to make people to make us know that they all want to live. And yeah, Sasha's going through the exact same fucking bullshit her brother went through, and we're not supposed to know if she really wants to live anymore. You don't know what it's like, Michonne. Why the fuck wouldn't Michonne know what it's like? Michonne doesn't know what it's like. She had her fucking baby, her boyfriend, or her other friend, the whole fucking every place she had been, everybody fucking died. Andrea died. She had to go fucking fight the governor. All this shit, like everything.
Michonne's done this too.
Right.
I mean, she had a sword and a couple of walker pets
instead of a gun, right?
She just didn't have a place to come back to.
Michonne doesn't know what it's like. She was fucking almost raped. Come on.
Yeah, it's very short-sighted by her to get into that. That's the woe is me, no one knows how I feel kind of philosophy, where you don't realize when you're going through some trouble that everyone goes through their own pile of shit, especially when you're going through the zombie apocalypse where everyone's fucking lost someone. Everyone's been...
Except the people in this fucking town, apparently. Or they just don't give a shit that they lost anybody else.
So they talk about her being out in the tower for a while, and they head and they draw weapons as they think that they hear something, and they say that they talk about how it feels different to be out there, and Rosita says it's good, and Michonne says, I don't know about that. Rosita says after Eugene that she lost something, and she says Michonne seems lost because we found something. Michonne goes, Noah's dead. I felt like I was asleep in there. Rosita says, don't forget don't forget what happened, but don't give up on trying to change a little bit. You didn't bring your sword. That's a good thing. And I was thinking when I was watching this, no, it's not a good thing. She should have brought up.
She doesn't say that was a good thing. She said that she was saying that's not a good thing.
I thought she was saying it.
No, she was saying it was a good thing. Like, you're growing. You didn't bring a sword. That's something. You're at least.
No, I thought she was saying it was like a bad thing. Like,
no, she was saying it's a good thing.
No, she was saying it like she was saying don't forget. And look,
yeah, don't forget, but allow for change, civilizing yourself.
No, she was. I think you read her wrong. You wanted to believe in Rosita because of your attraction to her, but she's a dumbass.
No, I think she was saying you should have had your sword with you, bitch.
I don't know.
Why don't you have your sword with you? Why you hung your sword up? You are changed. She's like, I can't forget, and she's like, you have forgotten. That's why you hung your sword up. Look, you don't even have it with you. You are forgetting.
Rewatch that. Rewatch the scene.
You are a badass fucking bitch. Where the fuck is your sword? You have this gun. You almost got them all killed. It's your fault, Michonne, that there are fucking walkers coming up from behind you because you're letting off fucking rounds from over fucking Sasha's sword. Sasha's got a fucking silencer. She's right. I wouldn't have died, you fucking bitch. This is your fault, Michonne. You forgot who you are.
Breathe. Breathe.
Give the hand, yeah. Give him the pat on the back. Give him the pat on the back. So you lost your way, but whatever. We want to look at that situation. Katie and I viewed it like Katie did too. That she was saying it as you're starting to come down the road. You're halfway there, or something like that. But anyway, so Rick and Deanna are
I gotta watch it again. I
mean, any one of us could be wrong.
Anybody could be. Scout Dakota says, Joe, I think you should be the mayor of the town. I like your survival plans, but they do like to do the things dumbest way possible. So
why can't we just get into the running car? Why do we have to go into the shed with all the chainsaws?
We had a couple of moments like that tonight. We'll get to that later. I wrote one of those moments down. We haven't got to it yet. Rick and Deanna are having a chat by the graves, and he asks how she's holding up, and she says, "I'm not." Yeah, and he immediately changes the subject. Okay, enough of that shit. He tells her that there's a problem with Pete. And Deanna responds with, I thought it would get better. And Rick's like, you fucking knew? You knew and you didn't do shit about it yet? What the fuck?
And that's why she is worse than Rapey Cop. She is the same Rapey Cop fucking woman. In my like, that makes her, what if he was raping her too all this time?
Beating the kid
too. Like about the body, so you can't see the bruises.
But she
knows it's going on. She doesn't care because he brings to the table surgery.
But he's a surgeon. He's saving Tara's life now. Guilt trip.
So if he has a basement full of torture victims,
So by that logic,
he sews one
Daryl and Rick kill the most zombies, so they're kings, and everybody has to do whatever they say. Period. Like, that's it. Like, no, that's not how it's going to work. A knife to the back of their head, if that's the way.
Drink.
Like, that's not how this works. We're all equals, or nobody gets to beat someone because they bring more to the table. Nobody gets to abuse anybody. There's going to be no human rights issues involved in this. There is no line. There is no gray area. It is a fucking line, and you do not cross it.
Scout says, like, dude, Rosita totally had like a lot of lines, and she was wearing clothes and stuff. It's like growth for her.
She's like, look, I grew too.
Tara Chan says, let's get drunk. Yep. DJ says, and who the hell was that in the graves? I couldn't understand. I would understand crosses, but not actual dig sites if there's no bodies. Tara Chan says, kill everybody. He is not dangerous to his family. He's just a threat to everyone.
And he is a threat to everyone, because exactly what Kate said. Now that he knows, or he always knew, that Rick was going to be a competition or whatever, he felt it, or that's what his craziness decided, what his psychosis decided. There's always an imminent danger now at this point to anybody in Rick's group that gets put in front of him on a fucking surgery table. Like I can see him coming out. Sorry guys, Tara didn't fucking make it.
Absolutely, you cannot trust him.
No, it wasn't my fault Tara didn't make it. She just didn't fucking make it. She had a head wound. What do you expect from me?
Y to the Ori. Carl is
everybody.
getting some poon. Sonia, welcome, Sonia. I'm so tired of Rick is crazy or Shane is Memmy, overplayed and one-dimensional. Richie says, I hope Michonne don't get too attached to this fake town. It's going to be a huge problem. Joey Rico says, after a day of hard surgery, time to go to the old punching bag, says Dr. Pete. Carl says, maybe Jesse can move in with Rick and then Pete doesn't have to die. Hera Chen said, you misread what I said. I said Pete could get drunk and kill everybody. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. It's in chat room. Keep going. It's awesome. Sorry if I misread sometimes. Ren says, I would never trust that guy with a scalpel. He's cranked on booze and drugs.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, and
that
that too.
alone.
And that
I
too.
mean,
And that too. If he's
Chan, I mean soda pop for you.
like okay, we have runs going out today. You're not allowed to drink past midnight. Like your NP alcohol, motherfucker. You cannot drink past midnight. We have people going out. You cannot be drunk tomorrow. Trying to operate on them. That's not. The guy got to go, and the fucking mayor got to go. They are both bad for business. And if anybody wants to stand up and support them, and they're going to take the chance, they're going to get the fucking knife to the back of the skull too, because you cannot exile.
There's like no one in that town anyways.
Yeah, there's a few chicken heads fucking clucking about pasta makers and fucking I didn't like this one's a complete, this one said that, blah 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 blah. It seems to me there's less people in this town than there are the people that came with Rick's group.
They're not giving us a good sense of the size.
No, they're not giving us the good sense of the size at all of it. And Tara Chen, thank you so much. That was one of those things that I've always pronounced incorrectly. So I appreciate you spelling that phonetically for me. Sam Crow says, I'm surprised. Surprised one has weed they can still grow out there. I'm sure there is. Dakota says, I agree. All the Alexandrians are evil. Who cares if we let people die, get raped, or beaten, as long as we have running water and CD players.
Right, exactly, and that's what the government, that's what the hospital people were doing, and that's what this mayor's doing.
Yep.
It's exactly what this mayor's doing, and that's what the people at the hospital were doing. I see no difference between it. It is black and white. There's no shade involved.
Tara Chan says there was about probably 35 to 45 people at the party, give or take, and I don't think the townsfolk would be okay with it if they knew all the other stuff that was going on with the letting people die stuff. I wonder how the other members of the town would feel.
Yeah, curious.
What? So nobody in this town talks to each other, or maybe they all know. They all just don't care. If hey, leave them behind, save yourself. That's the way it's going to be.
But then why would Nicholas have to lie and bullshit about it and make himself seem like it was Glenn's fault that they left?
Yeah, I think it's a town-wide denial of the reality of the situation
yeah,
outside the walls.
Exactly, Katie.
They don't want
100% true. So how do they get eggs and milk in Alexandria? What happened to the canned foods passes the expiration date? Yeah, Joe was talking about the farm last. There has to be some sort of.
The word is sustainability. There's no reason to have lawns when you can have gardens that are growing food for you to eat.
Yep.
The lawn is useless and pointless,
yeah,
especially in this world. There should be zero grass. It should all be. And there's so much you can grow in that land. That grass is fertile soil. You have the water, you have the sunlight, you have sustainability is the word, and that's what this town is supposed to be based on. And I don't understand why they don't have this going on. Why we haven't seen it. Why they haven't been like.
We have to just not have seen it. There has to be a section of town that's a little farm, as people are asking, like where are the farms, where are the gardens? Remember saying they've got to be somewhere. There has to be something we haven't seen yet, certain sections of this area.
And that's what bothers me a little about this. I want to know, like, have a sense of this place.
And if there is a farm and there's chickens and eggs, those chickens make noises, and those chickens are going to draw lots of fucking walkers to that area constantly. There's going to be a farm, there's going to be cows, and there's going to be more walkers coming. You need those things, and you need to protect against them. You need to keep sweeping the area.
Terry Chen says they probably have a cow or something. Who knows? There's probably there's a cow and a chicken somewhere on site, somewhere walking around. Hell, Zelda games have chickens wandering around. They have
Sam Crow, I agree with you. There did seem to be, and I was saying this to Katie earlier too. It seemed like there was many more people in Woodbury than there were in Alexandria.
Yeah,
oh wow, you said what?
It made it look like there was a lot.
Joe, you struck me off for a second there because you said Woodbury.
Because I said it right.
Yeah.
I didn't want to tout my own horn, but I had just read it, so I didn't want to be like, oh, I did it right.
That's like me pronouncing Olavella's name correctly or something. That'd be like the same thing. I know that we should celebrate such things. Or me saying Sansa instead of Sansa.
Positive reinforcement. A cookie. We should get a cookie.
It's Oberon, not Oberon. I'm never listening to you guys again. You pronounced Oberon wrong.
Anyway, so Pete says if he doesn't, if they get into this whole thing like if we should isolate him, and Rick's like if he doesn't want to be isolated, I mean we'll kill him. And she goes, we won't kill people in civilization. And he says, warning someone to stop or die is civilization now.
Yeah, pretty much.
But here's the thing: there is if someone's stealing, you can warn them to stop or die. If someone is pissing on the lawn, I guess you could say stop or die.
There's some middle ground in there,
right? But for physical abuse of people and beating people, there's only two ways. You're either going to imprison this guy, which is a complete, it's only going to, you could never ever let him out of prison because unless you're going to torture him and reprogram him, and then you can't trust it anyway. So it comes all right back down to
castrate him. Could you castrate him? Would that work?
That's not gonna. No, that's just gonna make him a ballless fucking wife beater.
Yeah, you're very true. I guess if I was thinking, get rid of the
thing to be pissed about.
Already he's breaking the mold and kind of has a sack because he attacks Rick and not just beats his wife in front of Rick.
Yeah.
Usually they go stereotypical. I'll only hit the woman. I'm not gonna fight you, Rick. But he went for Rick.
Right. This guy thought he could take Rick, and he gave Rick a good fight. We'll get to that, but he gave Rick a good fight.
And we will get to it.
So Deanna says she'll exile him, meaning exile the Doctor if it comes down to it. Rick says there's times when you get to decide who lives, and what if he comes back, and that could lead to all kinds of problems. Deanna responds by saying she wouldn't kill Rick if he was in this, in this situation.
And that would be fucking stupid. Because Rick is smart. You're going to let this doctor go out there? He's a smart man. He's obviously a surgeon. So you're going to give him the education of the world beyond the walls on top of that to come back at you?
Ren goes instead of the balls. Could we just chop his hands off? But then he wouldn't be a surgeon, I guess.
I've been hit with a nub before.
He's not taking care of his surgeon hands.
Good.
He is not taking care of those surgeon hands.
He's not.
Sonia, you listen to the beginning of the show when you get a standpoint to hear Joe rant about that. Sonia says, I too had a problem with Michonne from this episode. You don't take down your leader. They will lose more people trying to be like that. Losers in Alexandria.
Yes.
Absolutely. Well fucking said. Well said, my friend. Well said. And DJ Better says prison is a waste of resources in this world.
And that's an
this
unfortunate
world, Damn.
That's an unfortunate truth for the zombie apocalypse, especially.
Yeah.
And Dakota, I agree with you. We grew up in small towns as well. And yes, small towns, it's everyone's business. Everyone is everyone's business.
Right. So everybody in this town should know exactly what kind of fuckface this dude is.
So Deanna says that never to suggest execution again. It's just not the way. And he says, listen, you need to make decisions, or more people don't die.
Yeah, and that's the truth of the fact is this: if he kills him, he saves her life. If at this point he turns around and kills her, I'm going to kill him anyway. That's 2 lives lost.
Well, if I see him attack her, I'm gonna kill him.
Right.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah, whether I see it or not. If she walks out of the house and she has a black eye that she didn't have yesterday, the dude punched her in the face. Why do I have to see it to respond and kill him?
Absolutely, and Rick knows, even from besides the whole zombie apocalypse, let's take this back just to the whole aspect of how these domestic abuse assholes do their business. It's just a matter of time before he hits her once and she's dead.
Yep.
And it's just going to keep escalating. If he just is in a situation, he's not going to hit her less.
Right. Rick says it right. She says, I don't want this to get any worse.
It ain't getting better, and he's not going to get a therapist unless therapy's not going to work in the zombie apocalypse. Prison's not going to work in the zombie apocalypse. You're running out of fucking options here. Cutting his nuts off, we've already decided that's not going to work. Cutting his hands off, like Ren suggests, it's not going to work. We're up against the wall here. Exile causes more problems than good, because as Rick said, people are going to show up there with a fucking tank at your front door, and you only got one choice here: kill this motherfucker.
Agreed.
So back to Michonne and Rosita, who they saw the walker, and we see a couple walkers that Sasha's killed, and we see that's kind of fresh, so they're getting closer to her tail, and they see the pictures that Sasha shot, and they say that she's out there getting revenge or hunting out there, Revenga, and they're going after them, and then we cut over to Carl in the woods, and we hear the voice of Enid in the sound of the woods. We don't see her yet, but we just hear her coming.
She's a tree fairy.
She's a tree fairy, yes, Kate. She's a tree fairy in this moment. She says, you're following me because you're really loud. It's kind of like a Catwoman Batman moment, almost, the two of them interacting, like, oh, you're Bat, I can hear you following me. And they talk about how she mentions you scare me, and he wants to know why you scare me, and he says, come out, and she says, okay, and they talk, and they talk, she's sorry about Noah, and he said, you should come in, 2 people died, and she said, people always die, I'm not going back anywhere. She's very calm about it.
Yeah,
Smart girl.
I like her attitude, but again, just like Sasha, I understand you need to go out and run, and I understand this is something that you need to do, and I'm not going to tell you not to do it, but at least tell someone that you're going out.
Leave a note.
Leave a note, something. Let us know where you went, when you'll be back. I know it sounds like I'm the 50s parent. You know, call and check in or whatever, but no, it's the responsible thing to do, especially in the zombie apocalypse.
Do you know what Rick needs to do? He needs to get some ricin powder and kill him while he's...
And that's what I was thinking. Why did anybody have to do it this way? Carol could just fucking go poison him.
Yeah, or just stab him in the side.
She murdered 2 sick people in a tight-quartered prison and lit their bodies on fire, and nobody knew it was her for weeks. But she can't go poison the fucking drunk fucking doctor? Come on. Assassinate this motherfucker. Go into his husband and just fucking shiv him. Do something, Carol. Don't just fucking goad Rick on. Use this ninja personality that you've taken on.
Renwood. Okay, knife to the back of the head. Yeah, Carol, sneak in there and knife to the back of the head.
Right.
Or make it look like an accident.
She's a cook. She knows she's looked up how to cook ricin for fucking Ed. She knows arsenic poison, how to extract enough arsenic out of almonds or whatever the fuck you get it out of, whatever tree bark.
I know.
She knows plenty of ways to fucking poison somebody. She's looked it all up for Ed. Never had the balls to use it. Now's the time to use it, Carol.
Have a good night, DJ. Hope you have a good rest. Thank you so much, dude. Thanks for the great comments tonight. Talk to you later, buddy. Carl follows Enid in the woods, and they're playing. After some of the conversation, they start their slow motion, like bunny rabbits in the woods. And what I wrote in my notes, here, this goes back to something Ren would said at the very beginning of the night, being new in the show. She's like, this scene or this Carl stuff made me think that Carl might die in the finale. This made me more think that Enid's dead in the finale.
Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Yeah!
Oh.
Enid's dead.
Oh yeah! Get your napkins ready for Carl. He's gonna lose his little. He's gonna be a virgin till 30. Oh no!
Yeah, Carl's losing her. She's gone. She's so dead. She's so dead.
I'm heartbroken.
So dead. They made us care about this just so they could kill her. I'm convinced.
Now, too. This episode made me like Enid a lot.
Yeah, me too.
Aw,
Terror
was breaking my heart.
Terror Chan says, "Fuck Enid. Oh my God, hate her."
See, I don't hate her. There's just one. I'm hoping they're not going the Becky route, the Becky from Roseanne show route, the snotty fucking brat child kind of like, like. I just hope they're not going that, or I don't know, that angst little girl that I hate everybody in the world and all that fucking shit.
Tara Chan says she is a Mary Sue.
I know she's a teenager, but we don't need that cliche. This is not the fucking world.
We have
she
enough
knows.
cliches
We have
here.
enough cliche. Like this is not the world. She knows what world she's living in.
I'm not even gonna waste too much time talking about her because she's gonna die. She's dead.
I hope so. I hope she's as dead as Noah.
She's smart. I like her. She's smart and strong. She's a survivor.
I do hope Carl gets a piece first.
I dug her with the clock thing. That was the most I dug her in that moment. And I like some of their interactions together.
The most
I'm a sucker for romance.
Where she says, "See, I know you're scared of me too."
Of me too.
Yeah, that was cute. Oh, it was so cute. I hated it.
And not like the shit surrounding it, just that line, like.
Carl needs this.
Carl needs this as much as Rick needs
sweetness.
this. He killed his mommy. He needs something.
I just like that she's kind of a badass and she's just crafty, and I dig the idea of people being out there that aren't good killers but can still find different ways of surviving.
So
I dig that idea.
When they're talking on the log and he's all like, something bad happened to me too. Is that like I almost expected him like I killed my mommy.
Yeah,
like,
that's
that was the first thing I expected out of his mouth for some reason, right? And so I was wondering, was he talking about that because that's the bad thing that he keeps thinking about all the time, or was he thinking about that he was almost raped by the claim gang?
I think the default thing that he goes to is probably the mummy thing.
See, I think so too, but I was kind of thinking in that situation, he was trying to pick up on something else and was talking about that instead.
Well, she's talking about her mom too.
It all into one
maybe he was, but maybe he was. Something bad happened to me the last 2 years of my fucking life.
Tara Chan says Tara Chan, what Carl needs is a realistic character.
What?
But Melody Vision says she likes her too, Katie.
What's unrealistic about this character?
Anyways,
Wait a minute.
so we keep going.
Got my
I'm a little bit annoyed. I'm a little bit annoyed by Enid, but
Renwood, awesome. Rice and poison made from the castor bean. Just saying.
Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
Tara Chan says, Tara Chan, to answer your question, Kate, she's so tortured, but a badass. She knows how to survive. She's pretty, perfectly snarky. She is Mary Sue. So in the sense that they're giving her all aspects of everything, and that's why I say she's dead. She's very dead soon. So we'll see. So we go back to the kids running in the woods. Who sees a walker? She throws a clock in the direction to hear the sound of alarm, and she runs off. And I said I like this strategy for not killing a walker. And so we also say they're like Ghetto Toad says they're like Romeo and Juliet, and we all know what happens to them.
Happily ever after, right? What, am I missing something?
Yeah, relationships always end positive in the zombie apocalypse. Glenn tells, then we get Glenn to Nicholas, our Glenn and Nicholas scene, and Glenn tells Nicholas, comes up to him and says, listen, don't talk to me. I don't want to hear it. Listen, 4 people are dead because of you. Noah's dead because of you. Okay, so 5 lives.
Yeah.
And you're going to have to carry those 5 people. You're supposed to be dead, but because you're a piece of shit, you're supposed to be dead, but because these walls came up just in time, you're not dead. You lost all your outside privileges. He was like Marcellus Wallace to Bruce Willis in Pulp Fiction. You lost all your LA privileges. He's just like, you can't go outside anymore. You're not allowed to leave your house.
And here's the thing. Why not just kill him? Glenn is going soft, and I'm not liking it. I loved his response, though. You know, is this a threat? What if I don't want to? Is this a threat? And Glenn's like, no, I'm trying to save you, man. And walks off.
He is, yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to save you here. And I think Glenn's trying to do the good thing, but he's not going to sit there and take shit from this guy forever. But he's not going to just shoot him in the head right away. He just knows that's not. He just wants this guy out of the fucking way. Do not even get in my business even a little bit, because if you do, then we're going to have problems. Stay the fuck away. And I know what you want. You wanted to just stab him in the back of the head right there.
Yeah, and hide the body, dispose of it later when you go out on a run.
Well, he should have just left him, like killed him and left him,
No, well,
not taken him back.
I like that he took him back, but we already know the lesson.
Humanity.
We know that lesson from Randall. Like, I don't even want to talk about how he got Randall's leg off that fence, but don't take Randall back to the farm. There is no prisoner. We learned that lesson then, and like, basically, you're telling this guy he's now, they're all prisoners except, he's not. He's a prisoner in the town. He's not allowed to leave. He's got to make his work in the town.
Tara Chan says Glenn was always soft. Even when they murdered the termites in the church, it was he and Maggie who sat back in sight horror and didn't really participate.
Yeah, they haven't gone to the.
Oh, I'm so dead. Absolutely yes, Dakota. If it wasn't. The only way I'm surviving in the zombie apocalypse is staying close to Joe and him telling Joe, listen, Phil, listen, shut up, keep your mouth shut, listen to me. We're not trusting those people. Stay the fuck away from those people.
Just let Joe go berserker.
Yeah, that's when Katie and I just keep our mouth shut and we let Joe drive.
We're over here.
Yeah, that's okay. Let's make some food. Let's prepare some snacks.
And it's foraging to do.
I will need some help. I'm not Sasha, guys. I will need some help.
Hey, you know you could trade me. I could do a job if you tell me what to do. So after this scene with Glenn threatening him or warning him or giving him a promise, whatever, we get back to Carl and Enid. We kind of already talked about this. Enid talks about her mom. They talk a bit more about some stuff and how she thinks how they're supposed to feel the way they do outside. They're never supposed to forget about it. Never feel too safe. Carl says he can't forget he has dreams about being in the forest with them, and she says she does too. They talk about the other kid Ron being a good guy, and Carl asks him if she tells him how she feels about everything, and then asks why she's scared of him, and she says she doesn't know, and as she's carving her knife, and she says it was her mom's knife. Carl asks what happened to her before, and she says it doesn't matter. And he goes, something happened to me bad too, and I think he just wanted to talk about his mom there. Then a group of walkers appear, so they hide in a hollow-out tree, and Carl brushes up against her hand, and we get an almost kiss. He's stepping up his game. He's gonna do it. No, he didn't do it. Yeah. And then he gets the eye contact, and he looks at her, and she gives him the whole, "Oh, you're scared of me too." It was a little teen drama-y, but we got a moment of it. Whatever. It was a little 90210.
The last time we see him talk to her, it's, "Oh, you don't like me, do you?" But this time it's all, "I'm gonna kiss you."
Yeah.
It was cute.
Yeah.
It was cute, and it was good to find a moment, and I'm glad it didn't last long.
Is that how it works?
But for teenagers in the apocalypse, yeah. It's an emotional roller coaster, and it moves quick. Come on.
So then we see they're carved into wood. We also in this moment see another walker with a W on it.
Oh, we saw a lot of W's.
A lot of W's.
There was.
Someone's
there was
churning
quite
them out.
a few.
Sorry, I'm reading Karachan. I'm going to try to read this in the voice that I think it was intended for. Oh, poor Enid. She's so tortured.
Oh, poor Enid.
No one's been through such bad things as Enid.
Can we just call her Sansa?
Scout says, Joe, everyone in this town can't just start dying. So far, you've killed the doctor.
No, I have
Nick
killed the
and
doctor.
Pete.
I've killed the doctor.
Oh,
I've
Pete
killed
is the
Nick. I've
doctor,
killed
isn't he?
Gabriel. Let's
Yeah.
not forget Gabriel. Gabriel needs to
You know
die.
who else-
And the mayor.
Joe's-
And the mayor. That's 4.
And I think I remember you once in one of our podcasts saying, "Fuck that bitch with the chocolate." I think it was I want to kill her.
Yeah,
Oh,
she's annoying.
Yeah,
Kill her.
No, I'm not gonna kill her
She's
because she's
withholding
trustworthy.
chocolate.
She's kind of trustworthy in there. But no. That count is up to 4 people in this town right now need to die.
Okay, so we know we have at least 30. So that's
I'm
just
an
a high percentage.
advocate of keeping the group safe, and those 4 deaths are gonna save everybody's life.
You called the herd.
You know, and hey, somebody may want to put my head on the chopping block for the way that I want to knife their skull, but that just means they're going to get a knife in the skull.
No way, I won't.
let me give you this underhanded ball, Joe. Carl says, Joe, the challenge of the zombie apocalypse is learning to live with the imperfect people without knifing them to the back of the head.
No,
Correct.
That's the challenge of this world.
That's
In
the
apocalypse.
right.
It's a free-for-all.
That's the challenge of this world. In the zombie apocalypse, it's challenging people are stealing from the storehouse. Those are the people that get the warning. Do it again, and we knife you in the back of the head. And if you don't believe us, look what happened to the last guy who didn't believe us.
Those heads on that
He
spike.
got the knife to the back of the head. You get your warning. There is that gray area for some things, just not for things that have gotten people murdered or will continue to get people murdered, or for the ultimate betrayal that Gabriel has shown.
You're going a little Joffrey, I think.
I am going a little Joffrey. I don't think we should kill Gabriel. I just think we should beat his ass.
Heads on
Treat
spike.
him like Sansa.
Okay? Yeah, start treating Gabriel like Sansa. Like, no.
I want his head on a spike.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
Some challenge to it, but you know, there's good reasons why that's the only punishment in this world.
So speaking of complete dickitudes, this fucking Nicholas, he's digging for a buried gun. He should be fucking.
Oh, that's beautiful.
That's
that was Rick's gun with the J on it.
The cocksucker, and he gets a gun, and he better not be trying some shit. I have a feeling he's going to cause some serious damage in our finale. So Sasha's on the prowl in full killer stalker mode in the woods and shooting with her silencer some walkers. Rosita and Michonne find her, and they tell her to go back. She's sick of all this shit, and she's trying to take all the walkers on, and she doesn't have to go back. And now her friends kind of try to get into her face, and the herd shows up, and she refuses to go. Michonne kind of sees some flashes of herself with a sword, and we see her in the past. We see the first time we saw her when we met her with Andrea, and she's just starting to not recognize herself, I think. And then she eventually goes in the offensive too, and the three of them just take out a large group of walkers. And Sasha runs out of ammo and kind of gets knocked down to the ground, and a walker's about to get her.
And that's why I got to say, I think this was wrong. What happened to all the lessons we've learned? You see this is a big herd, and you're a little worried. You're like, come on, we got to get out of here. So you start capping off fucking loud rounds to draw even more right to you.
Michonne fucked up not bringing her sword.
Michonne absolutely fucked up not bringing her sword. There's no reason not. Like, I understand her symbolism of what that sword kind of means to her, what she's making it mean to her. But that was her fucking lifeline. That wasn't just anything. That was the smartest thing she ever did, was have that sword. If she's gonna go outside the walls, she needs to bring that sword with her. That's not an option. That's a silent killer with a long reach.
Yeah, I was just about to say the same exact words. So it's a silent fucking killer. You want a sword. That's one of those top weapons that you get that in the zombie apocalypse. That's that's number one weapon.
Yes, a katana, a machete. These are the things that I want. A machete on my hip and a katana in my hand almost at all times, or vice versa.
Lots of little knives.
Someone was asking about what the W stands for.
All over my fucking body. It's gonna look like that scene where they're pulling out their weapons, and there's gonna be like dozens of fucking knives. I'm gonna sound like a fucking pocket of change walking down the street with the amount of metal hanging off of me that I'm gonna use to knife the back of skulls.
And as Ren said, Daryl has a crossbow, which is another great weapon out here. Terry Chan said someone was asking what the W means. Victor had a good answer, vagina. But no, it's not vagina. It's and it was in the Tyrese episode. There was some graffiti on a wall that said the wolves are here or something like that. So perhaps
beware the wolves or something like that. Yeah,
something to that effect. So Michonne kills a walker that knocks Sasha down. And when she's out of bullets, changing her clip. Rosita also kicks some ass. And Sasha gets pissed that Michonne helps her with, like, I didn't need you to help me, and gets at Michonne's face. And they look like they're coming to blows for a second. And Michonne is like, listen, things worked out for you. They didn't work out for me. Wait. How did things work out for Michonne? I want to know how things worked out for Michonne.
Because she's in the same safe fucking town that you're in. What? But how? Yeah, exactly. How did things work out for Michonne? Where's her husband? Where's her baby? Where's her companions that had their jaws and fucking limbs removed? Come on, what the fuck?
You don't know shit. It shows how little Sasha knows about Michonne's life, I guess.
Right, and how little she fucking cares about anybody but her fucking self. Even when they were on the tracks and they were fucking looking for the rest of the people, and Bob's all Mr. Bright and cheery, she's all like, where, I'm gonna go sit in this fucking building and sulk. I don't care where my brother is. I'm giving up. And so Bob talked her out of it, and now she's right back into it. She and her brother are the same fucking person. Good riddance.
Dakota, we knife people who steal. Dude, they're hungry. I can't co-sign with the murdering for stealing. Joe, you're becoming an apocalypse serial killer.
No. I said we don't knife them for stealing. We tell them we're going to kill them if they don't stop.
Threaten with the
We
knife.
threaten first. We give them the chance to become better people, Dakota. We're not just arbitrarily. We're giving them the chance to redeem themselves, to not steal anymore. I understand if you're hungry. You know, Carol, by that means, would mean knife to the back of the skull because she stole that chocolate.
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe,
no box of pasta, but still.
I mean, Michonne should be upset. Rick left her for some pathetic two-dimensional character. Thank you, Terry Chan. Thank you, Terry Chan. So we keep going. Michonne and they get in each other's face, and I have to say again, I'm feeling violent. I'm feeling intense. My blood pressure is rising because of Sasha yelling at Michonne in the scene. Mainly because of how exceptionally both actresses played this and this. This was a great scene with two great actresses playing back and forth with two, like especially the way the actress that played Sasha played it, like the look on her face, the way she was going. I was really impressed by what was going on screen between the two of them right here. Even though because I got so pissed at Sasha, I'm like, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Shut up. She said, she's in her face, she's saying, things worked out for you. Don't say anything. You can't help me. No one can. No one can work this out. She's crying. She says that we lost Noah, and I told him he would make it. That's another loss. She's emotional and in a rage. She just walks off, but they follow her. And Michonne holds the gun and kind of gets this I can't forget who I am kind of vibe. And again, she should have brought the fucking sword.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. Sword needs to be with her at all times outside those walls. There's no reason not to bring it. It's the silent killer. You need it.
Dakota says Michonne didn't know that they were going walker hunting. That's maybe why she didn't bring the sword.
She can't. She was in her house when Rosita came to her and was like, she disappeared. We know she went out for a walk outside the walls.
Yeah,
she was in her house. And when you're headed that way, it's okay to say, it's going to save our lives if I take the 30 seconds now to be prepared later and run back and go get my sword. She doesn't have to deal with traffic and drive 7 towns away to go get this fucking thing.
Dakota says Sasha equals wine. Ren says I meant is Sasha on the list, Joe. And Tara Chan says I'm sick of Sasha's shit. Sasha is a brat now. Time for a timeout. Sonia says Terry. Here. Carl says Joe. Does Sasha need a knife to the back of the head because she's
no,
her ability to survive?
She needs a hug.
She needs to be left alone to do what she's doing.
That's about it. If she goes and gets herself killed like Tyrese wanted to do, she is her brother's sister. Those acorns didn't fall far from something.
Yeah, I think a combination of what Joe
she is more of a killer than her brother is, and she's a much better shot than her brother is. But her brother was a much better hammer yielder than she was.
And
okay.
Dakota, I agree with Dakota and Joe. She needs a timeout, and someone needs to hug her while she's on her timeout. So we go to Aaron and Daryl, who I loved every little moment of Daryl we had tonight. In fact, I'm putting Daryl in the thumbnail just because I love Daryl so much. Daryl and Aaron, there's someone across a cut-up walker, and it's a torso that's missing. Really crazy music sound. Daryl says whoever did this took stuff with them, took parts of the body with them, and it was and left it. And it did happen not that long ago, and they approached with caution. Then they also found a naked woman who looks like something out of Freddy Krueger, like the Freddy Krueger movie where they feed the girl too much food.
This
and
was awesome.
Comes out, and her guts are like tied there, and there's a W carved into her head. And Daryl says this didn't happen long ago. And
she's
again,
just starting to wake up at this point.
And again, this is the point in time where I wrote the whole thing about that commercial that you were referencing earlier, Joe. When you see this is when the house goes, where you get out of the house. You get out of the fucking house. This is when you turn around and you run. You get the fuck out of the way. And you come back with more people.
Right.
At least
especially where you approached this town of what is apparently idiots, and they saw you coming.
Yeah, or they saw some. In that situation, I go back and I get more people. I wouldn't want to be alone out there with just Aaron if I was. Not that Aaron's not capable, but I would want at least a couple other people if I was Daryl in that moment. But.
Yeah, I think so too. But if you're Daryl, I think maybe you try to send Aaron back, and you stay.
Don't separate.
Not enough.
You don't separate. You stay together. Buddies.
I agree with everyone in the chat room right now. Not enough Daryl or Terry Tran. Not enough Daryl tonight. Usually it's the opposite for him. I needed more Daryl tonight, and I also wanted to see more Aaron and Daryl's relationship. Yeah. And Melody says maybe there'll be more of them in the next episode. I hope so, and I think they're going to be whatever seeming threat's going to come back to Alexandria is obviously going to seem to be obviously coming through them. And so we'll see where that story goes from there. And it's scaring me. I'm getting Daryl fear for the final. I'm getting some Daryl fear. I don't know. We'll talk about that at the end. What we think is going to happen in the finale. So they also find.
Well, we know it's not. Maggie's not going to die because we haven't had any Maggie time. Nobody's going to care. She's already essentially dead.
We know that. We can cross that one off the list. So they also find a naked woman. I said, get the fuck out of the house. Now we go back to this is the Rick and Jesse scene. She's in the house smoking. I'll get through this, and then we'll talk about it. Jessie's smoking a butt. She does not want her family to know she smokes, as Rick comes in, and they talk about 2 seconds about Noah being a sweet kid, and Tara's in good hands with Pete, because Pete's a good doctor. And Rick immediately turns it over to, he's hurting you, and it has to stop. And she starts to shake, and she says, it will stop. Rick says how? She says it happened before. It happened before the zombie apocalypse, and we got some help, and it was fixed for a while.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. I'm going to tell a little joke.
Is the punchline stab in the back of the head?
No. That's not it. Guy gets pulled over. The cop says, "You know why I pulled you over?" He says, "No, I don't." The cop says, "You ran the stop sign." And he says, "Yeah, but officer, I slowed down." And the cop says, "Get the hell out of the car right now." So the guy says, "Okay." Soon as the guy gets out of the car, the cop draws his billy club. He whacks him over the fucking head. He starts stomping on his face with his boot. He's kicking him in the chest. He leans down. He starts punching him. He's punching him right in the jaw. He's knocked out 3 teeth, and then he leans over and he whispers in his ear, "Hey, do you want me to slow down, or do you want me to stop?" Stop means stop. Stop means it doesn't ever happen again.
Yep.
She's using the word stop. It stopped before. No, if it's happening now, it never stopped in the first place.
He took a pause.
He just didn't hit you for a while. Yeah. That's all.
Most abuse is like herpes. It never goes away. It just, the flare downs come down after a while.
It just hides in the shadows for a little bit. It's not stopped. Stopped means it never happens again. And
there's no curing. I mean, I'm not saying
right.
But in this situation, he never stopped. He stopped for how long? How long? What was there? A few months? Was there a week he stopped while you were going to therapy because he didn't want you to prosecute him in that situation? I mean, what happened? Your son's getting, as Rick eventually tells her. She says she can fix things. Things will get better. Rick says, I'm gonna help. She says, what's gonna happen? You're gonna lock him in jail? What will happen? It will make things worse, she says. He says, next it will get worse. He's going to kill you, and I'm not going to let that happen. He says he will help her if she likes it or not. She asks why he cares, and he looks at her with doe eyes. And he says, why is it? And she says, why is it so important? He says, you make a home. It says you have made a home for your kids. What are you doing? Why are you trying to mess this all up? He says, I'm trying to help. She says, I don't know. She says, Rick, I'm married, and looks at him kind of with like a miserable look, and he says, I can take care of myself. She says, I can take care of myself. I have to take care of myself. And she closes the garage door, and we get a cool visual of the garage door closing on Rick Grimes. And she walks off. Then Rick's walking through the community. I love this scene. He's walking through the community, and he sees all this normality around him of kids playing, people reading, talking books. And I liked because this was one of our few opportunities to actually see some of the scope of Alexandria, to see some of the just random people doing random things. I don't feel like we've had enough of that to make it seem like a moderately bustling community at some point. We see like some kids playing, people talking. We see a dog. We saw a puppy. We saw a dog someone wasn't eating. They have dogs in Alexandria. They have enough food to feed a fucking dog. And then we see that goddamn balloon again, the goddamn it balloon again. And he just runs and screaming into Jesse's house and who's almost hysterically crying. And she says, what he's doing. He goes, listen, Sam asked for a fucking gun to protect himself. She says, you should not be here. And it was actually a pretty good line read by her. She said it as her voice cracked and stuff. She said, you shouldn't be here. I kind of liked it. And Rick says it's the same thing inside or outside. You don't fight, you die, and I don't want you to die. I can keep you safe. I can help you. I can help your boys. All you need to do is say yes, and I will protect you. I will become your caveman. I will grab you by your hair, carry you around my back. You will be my woman. Just say yes.
Yep.
And she asks, would he do it for someone else?
Oh my God! I hope everybody else in the world is just as pissed at Rick's fucking answer, because everybody knew his answer there was actually no.
No, anybody said
was yes. Yes. I would do this for everybody else. And
Absolutely.
he says no. I will only do it for you. Bullshit.
Joe, have you ever seen Team America? Have you ever seen Team America?
A Durka.
Yeah. When we're in the bar and the woman's like, I can only have sex with you if you promise me you'll never, ever, ever die again. Ever, ever, ever die again. That was like Rick had one of those moments. Of course.
Phil, that's another moment that we went and saw that in the theater together.
Yes, we did see that in the and the South Park movie we saw together.
Oh,
jeez. Ren would right. I'm using the limited amount of power that we have on the garage door. Life is good.
You know, the vital things in life.
Yeah.
Like Jesse wasn't. Like Tara Chan said, like if Jesse wasn't hot and middle-aged and graying, it was middle-aged and graying, Rick wouldn't be helping her out.
Right.
Yeah.
Is that what Rick's saying in this moment too? He's saying like
exactly.
If this was Carol getting beat back then, would he not have helped her in the same way?
Yeah, he would have. He absolutely would have.
Exactly. I think he's kind of just saying what he thinks she needs to hear.
To get laid.
And he's tweaking. Again, he's like, because he knows he's talking about murdering someone, but I think he hasn't slept in days. I think he said that somewhere along.
Do you think he's sleep deprived, needing to get really relaxed, or do you think he's starting to go into cold, I want to kill someone shakes? Like it's been too long since
I think because of the first two, it's making the third all the more upfront and that low, it's exasperating his need to want to.
All normal things and all showers and casseroles make Rick Grimes something.
I mean, this lesson has been learned. If we don't go back and kill the fucking termites, the termites are going to come kill us. If we don't go kill the governor's going to come kill us. If I don't kill Shane, Shane is going to kill me. We have learned this lesson. Carl, if Carl doesn't kill the walker instead of just throw rocks at it, the walker's going to come and kill fucking Dale.
Dale. It was Dale, not Herschel. Sorry, Dale. So Pete enters this situation with a laugh, like, ho, what are you doing here with my woman? And he says, he asks Rick to leave, and he says a couple times, what are you doing here? What are you doing here? And he asks Rick to leave. Rick just kind of looks at him, and Jesse says, no. And he goes, excuse me? And Pete starts to get angry. You wouldn't like Pete when he's angry. And she says, you need to leave. And again, I do like, Joe mentioned this earlier, I like the fact that they didn't make Pete just immediately cower to Rick in that situation, like hit his wife and then have Rick knock his ass out in one blow. Pete really put full dick mode on here, and Pete starts to get angry in his face, and she tells him to go, and he asks, what have you been saying to each other? And he screams, what have you been saying? And he screams in this like really almost like a horror movie sort of like Freddy Krueger, Batman, like, what are you saying? Blah, 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 blah. Like he screams at her for a second. It's really really screamy. And he yells at Rick and he says, you think you're the law? Your law is a joke. What are you trying to do? Who the fuck are you? And I loved Rick's line to him. Do you remember it, Joe? He goes, who am I? I'm a guy that's trying really hard not to kill you right now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I didn't remember that. I remember that being a great line, but I blanked when you asked me. I couldn't remember it. Like Glenn said, I'm the guy that's saving your life.
So, Sonia, good point. I don't think Rick wants just a Laurie work through of some sort. He wouldn't help another woman in Jesse's position. Wasn't he a cop? Of course he would help another position.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly. He
Absolutely.
would. And that's and he knows that there is no exile. There is no let them come back to do more harm. There's no I'm going to give you a warning because all that's going to do is have her dead the next time.
Tara Chan, another good question. Why does there have to be a sudden love interest for characters who don't really need them? That's just because it takes time to build relationships that help further a character, not a couple of episodes. It's just, again, fodder people. I think, to me, when they do things like that, it just smells to me as people that they're going to kill soon. Rick, and yeah, we get everything. Rick would have helped Carol and everything. Sonia says, what PTSD? Rick was so right about Terminus, right about the hospital plan. I'm not liking what Michonne did. No way.
No way.
So with you. So with you.
Rick's hospital plan may have gotten some people killed in a shootout. This almost worked. He didn't count on the crazy Don factor, the crazy mayor factor, but like Rick's plan, there was potential for people to die too, but I didn't see anything wrong with Rick's plan for the hospital. I think he was just as right as they were.
So this guy, like an idiot, swings at Rick because he's just asking for a fucking ass kicking here, and they start fighting, and it's a fucking kick-ass fight that they just beating the shit out of each other in the room, and Rick hits him once just to show him, like, I can take your fight, and I'm kind of holding back, so I could kill you if I really wanted to. And he goes, you had enough? You want to stop now? And he starts, like, just going crazy, and they just start getting into a kick-ass fight, and it looks like he's getting the upper hand on Rick, but then it just kind of cuts to the outside right before the commercial break of Rick throwing him through the window, just tossing Pete through the window. Then
he went out with them. They both went out the window.
I think in the first scene, like right before the commercial break, we just saw Rick throwing Pete. I'd have to rewatch it again.
I think they were grappled together.
Oh, they were grappling?
Okay. It was two bodies as one.
Oh, two bodies as one. It was an amazing moment of art of two bodies becoming one. This was the most existential moment that The Walking Dead ever established, as the moment where Rick and Pete became one entity and everything became nothing for one moment.
And they became one person.
One person.
As we see when Wifey comes over and he punches her away, and then Carl runs over and he pushes Carl away.
Well, someone had to say it. You can't keep Crazy Rick in the corner.
Nobody puts Crazy Rick in the corner.
Someone had to say it. So after our commercial break, a group of walkers start heading towards the gates. So Sasha starts noticing in the background, we also see some woman through the scope running. Was that a hallucination, or was that something really...
No, that was... through the scope was... See, when Rick comes out, he sees at the gate, he sees the little girl, Carl's chickie, sitting down playing with something. So when Sasha's up in the tower, she looks down and she sees that girl taking off towards the fight.
Oh, yeah, it's all the townspeople
running. All the townspeople start running towards the fight.
The few that we saw earlier, like the dog. It's the same few people.
It's the same few people. Okay. There's not like, none of the people from the party are coming. There's the mayor, the mayor's young hot guy standing behind him.
I think that's her other son.
Her other son,
other son, the one that greeted Sasha at the party and was like flirting with Sasha at the party.
Yeah, and maybe the husband, the girl,
Brand the Builder. Yeah, Brand the Builder was there.
Kid, the girlfriend, Carl's girlfriend, and but it was all just the same people. It was a couple of little kids that were walking around with the dog, the balloon. I don't know.
The dog with the balloon.
The balloon, yeah.
I think the balloon came over to see the fight.
There's a clown somewhere walking through the town. There's a spider or something. So we see through the scope a woman, and the fight continues on the street. Deanna's called out. People are watching the fight like it's, again, Rocky V, to date back to our Vikings review a second ago. It's everyone's watching the fight.
Finish him off!
Finish him, Johnny!
The leg, Johnny!
Put him in a body bag, Rick!
Put him in a body bag!
They're all watching. I hope someone brought the chocolate bars or the casserole. So I wanted to see I wanted to see Carol eating her own casserole from the sidelines or something. But we do see Sam hiding behind Carol, and And Jesse on one side is, the den mom. And Jesse's on one side trying to pull Pete off while Carl is trying to do the same with Rick. And both of them got knocked the fuck out by the other one. That was the harshest thing Rick did. The one moment where I thought Rick was kind of out of control. He punched Carl, or kind of like pushed Carl off.
Yeah.
A little violent with Carl. But not as violent as Pete was with Jesse.
No, he pushed him away. He didn't punch him.
He just pushed him away, right. And what I would have liked to have seen is if Rick just completely fucking annoyed Carl. Carl is a little boy. He's still a little boy. Yeah, he's a 15-year-old boy, but he's still a little boy. What's Carl gonna do? He's gonna start kicking his father in the fucking face?
Well, Pete
could start bite his shin.
lashing out at
Carl, I guess
too.
Pete could have started lashing out at Carl,
wife.
so you want him to step back. But I did like that Carl tried to step in.
Yeah. He
However, I would have liked it more if Carl did step in, if the lesson Carl had learned all these fucking years was to step in and kick this guy in the fucking face. Every single one of them should have run up and started. It should have been a fucking gang stomping.
Oh my goodness,
there should be no reason. There should be no why is Rick fucking fighting with this guy? Rick is fighting with someone. If Rick is fighting with someone, we should all be fighting with someone. Phil, there is no reason I should see you fighting in this town and I don't come over and help you kill this person.
I'd have slit Nicholas's neck right there.
No. These are my family members, and nobody shall lay a fucking hand on my family members without me kicking them in the face. Period. I don't give a fuck what it's about. Rick has saved my ass. You know that's how I feel about my brothers in this life. Never mind the fucking zombie apocalypse.
I'm with you to an extent.
I don't give a fuck what it's about.
It becomes a gang
I will
stomping
apologize
of one
afterwards.
person,
Listen, Phil, I'm gonna come over and I'm gonna help you kill this motherfucker. This is for the ZA, by the way. I'm gonna come over and I'm gonna kill this motherfucker with you. And when you tell me afterwards it's because you stole his fucking his cherry pop soda out of the fridge without telling him, I'm gonna be like, oh. Sorry, family of the person who I just murdered, but that's the way it goes.
But I don't need you in this particular fight yet. I just need you to watch that if this guy starts to get the upper hand of me, you shoot him.
I don't give a fuck. That's what I'm gonna do. Nobody fights alone. None of my family fight alone.
He has the upper hand on this motherfucking Pete.
Fight alone when there's fucking zombies roaming the planet.
You have to allow for a fair fight sometimes.
There is no such thing as a fair fight.
Okay.
There is no such thing as a fair fight.
Two equally skilled people against each other?
Yeah, this isn't the world fucking boxing federation. This isn't pugilism. This is I am going to kill these motherfuckers because they are trying to kill my loved ones. Period. Yeah. I don't know this guy's just gonna fucking beat Phil up and leave him there, and then what?
Well,
I'm gonna attack him afterwards.
Beat him up. No. When he gets the upper hand, then you step in. And you separate.
No. Why should I let him get the upper hand on Phil? What if that upper hand is a shot that kills Phil?
We're going to disagree on this.
What if that upper hand, like you said, like everybody says, it could be the one hit, the next hit that kills fucking this guy's wife.
They both decided to get into this fight.
That's right. And I don't give a fuck why they got into the fight. I'm coming up on it, and I'm seeing them, and I'm joining in. Rick and balls to the wall together. Because, like you said, if him getting the upper hand is punching Phil and breaking Phil's neck, or busting his eye, or blinding Phil, or fucking something like that, then I'm going to be pissed I waited, and I'm not going to wait. I'm going to kill this motherfucker while Phil's in it with me, so I don't have to handle him one-on-one either.
Okay.
We're going to agree to disagree.
There is no fighting alone. There is no fair fight. My family first.
I get the family first. With you on that, totally. Other than that, we agree to disagree.
We will kill them all, and we will apologize later.
Oh boy.
So we continue here. So Pete sees the balloon flying as Rick beats the piss out of this guy. Joe's gonna go have a heart attack over there for a second, and Rick beats the shit out of him. And we get Rick quoting Shane and saying, "Touch them again, and I'll kill you." But Deanna breaks up the fight. And I thought this was a hilarious moment. Rick then pulls his gun, and he goes, "Stop! What you gonna do?" I love the way Rick said this too. He's like, "What are you gonna do? Kick me out?" He just says,
"Yeah, you're gonna kick the madman with a fucking gun out. I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna kill all of you in the middle of the night for kicking me out. You're gonna kick me out? You don't think my 13 are gonna stand up for me? We're gonna fucking kill you all right now, motherfucker. There's no kicking me out."
Melody.
You gonna imprison me? You ever let me out, I'm gonna fucking knife you all in the back of the head for imprisoning me. You're gonna kick me out, I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna fucking knife you all in the back of the head for kicking me out. So you better fucking kill me now, because that's the only fucking solution to these problems, people. You don't fucking get it. Just like Rick's saying, you still don't fucking understand. You can't throw me out. There is no way this doesn't end without someone fucking dying. Right here, right now. Decide who you want it to be.
Breathe.
Joe is losing it tonight. Oh my god, I love it. This is amazing.
Fucking Michonne punches him in the back of the head.
Yeah,
what the fuck, Michonne?
Melody Vision, I'm very happy Joe is my friend in the zombie apocalypse. Carl says Rick should administer corporal punishment on Pete. Jesse, whip him with a stick. Tara Chan says Rick's speech reminded me so much of Shane's speech in front of Herschel's barn before he opened it. If you want to live, you got to fight for it. You mean fight.
Right. I definitely think there's a quote in there. I think he does quote him
a couple times, yeah.
And I think that's the point of that speech. Is because, and that's the correlation that everybody's going to draw, that he's so much like Shane, but the situations are very much different.
No, very different situations. But you wouldn't exile me, you dumb fucks. He goes into it. So Rick pulls the gun and he just starts talking shit. You pull the gun, kick me out. Yeah, come on, I'll gun you all down, you motherfuckers. And in a fit of rage, he just shouts to the residents, "You don't get it. None of you do. You don't know what it is. You don't know what needs to be done." He just goes all Joe Dirty Locks on them here. You just sit and hesitate and pretend you know what's going on, but you have no fucking clue what you're doing. And this whole time, Sasha's just shooting the fucking shit out of walkers from the bell tower, and they're banging on the wall. Rick says, "We wish things weren't like this. If you want to live and make this place keep standing, you're doing things wrong. Things don't get better because you want them to. You have to live in the real world now. We have to control who lives here." Deanna says, "Yes, that's clear." Rick says, "You mean me? You mean me?" Again, to quote someone else in the chat room, "Get your fucking shine box, asshole. I won't stand for this. I won't stand." He's just like, "I won't stand by." And Carol's just, you see Carol in the background grabbing her gun, ready to support him.
With her face, she's trying so hard not to smile like the Cheshire Cat. She is so
She's like, "Look what I did."
She's so trying to
and look, I got a new child.
Yep. Sammy on her back.
Tara Chan says, "Joe, watch your blood pressure. You're an old man."
I'm only 40.
Melody said Katie had to calm Joe down. That's why he got off camera for a second. Katie had to give him a hug. Dakota says, "Joe, go kill the motherfucker." Rick speaks so much truth in the moment. Ghetto Toad, welcome to. Oh gosh. Holy shit. So yes, you fight or you die. I'm not going to stand by. And then, we've talked about this a lot, but then, boom, he gets knocked out by Michonne. What the fuck, Michonne?
What the fuck? That is so wrong.
First of all, I want to know, when did she get there? What did she see? Like, you're just walking in the situation, you automatically take the idiot's side over Rick's side?
You see bloodied Rick waving a gun in fucking town, and someone on the ground with him, right? Like, if that's where you came in, or you came in the middle of the fight and you didn't do anything to try to stop it, and you let Carl run in and try to stop it, or at what point when he was choking him out and then he stopped choking him out?
Yeah, didn't kill him.
And didn't kill him, so you run up and you pound him in the back of the head? Like, Michonne, what the fuck? Yeah, that could have killed him. That could have fucking killed him.
Yep, that is a kill hit.
Yep. I just don't understand why she did that. It really pissed me off in that moment. Who does she think she's helping out in that situation? Is she so brainwashed by all this?
Blinded by the "we could be safe here." Nobody could ride a truck through that wall. It wouldn't jump out with 30 people with machine guns to take our cow. No, we're fucking safe here. You ain't gonna punch Rick in the back of the fucking skull. I'm a fucking moron.
The governor's tank wouldn't knock down that wall. No way.
The walkers looked like they could have shoved it over if Sasha wasn't taking them out in that moment.
Yeah, enough walkers pile up. That wall looks like it's coming down. That doesn't look security. The fucking supports are on the opposite side of the wall, for Christ's sakes.
They get a blizzard. Oh, they're done.
Some Kodotoad says, was it Rick's gun, the one he hid, the one that
It was. There was a J on it, and Rick's gun had a J on it. That's why they marked the gun handle, so we would know exactly who got Rick's gun when it finally came out again.
Oh, So our scenes
We
from
don't
next.
know if he found it or he was watching or what, but douchebag number 2 has the fucking gun.
Joe, do you remember scenes from next week? I ended up missing that.
Yeah. Shit happens where people are shooting guns, killing zombies, and things of this nature.
And Rick looked like he was in jail. My
I
DVR
was
cut
still in
off.
awe
in
about that.
jail or
He woke up
something.
with bandages all over his face, and he was kind of like, huh? And what's her name was at a campfire. Tonight's conversation is going to be Rick Grimes.
Oh.
And it was like, no, tonight's conversation is how many of you motherfuckers are going to get knives to the back of the skull for fucking tying up our leader? What the fuck?
So ultimately, is that going to be next week? The first half of next week is going to be like the trial of Rick Grimes, and then some danger is going to
All
come.
hell will break loose.
And
the
they'll need to
Wolfpack
let him
will
loose.
show up, and Rick will escape from the suburban house prison that he's in, and
Carol will bust him out. Is
yeah.
Carol gonna kill? First of all, I don't think I don't think Pete's dead. Does Carol kill Pete in the final?
I hope so.
I
Why
hope
wouldn't
Carol
she do
kills-
it herself to begin with?
Listen,
Come on.
I hope Carol fucking goes full out psycho and says, "Oh, Rick didn't get it done." Kills Pete, kills the mayor, kills that douchebag number 2, and for good measure, let's lose Gabriel too.
Okay, so
Let's give him
those,
back to the good Lord he likes to talk about.
which loving character do you think we're gonna lose, Joe?
I got a good feeling that our little boy is gonna lose his girl before that even starts.
Enid's
They're gonna
gone.
keep teasing
Enid's
him
gone.
with
Yeah.
Poontang over the years. It's gonna be fun to watch how frustrated he gets.
Are any of the big 3 or 4 dead? Or is Glenn, Rick,
The five.
Daryl,
originals?
Carol, or Maggie dead?
Daryl, Carol, Rick, Glenn, or Maggie.
Or Gabriel, or Eugene, or Rosita?
I think Rosita is the most likely of the...
No, I'm going. We're gonna lose some town people. We're probably gonna lose Carol.
Oh,
We're probably gonna lose
no.
Tara Chan says Daryl or Carol, one of them.
Oh,
Carol. I think Carol goes before Daryl goes.
Melody says Sasha. Tara says, yay, no Enid. I think we all want to see Gabriel die, which makes me think that they're going to keep him alive.
yep.
The fact that
Yeah,
everyone,
we got more from him for sure. I think.
I think there's more for him to do as the story goes on. So I have a feeling we might not get to see him die, which would be so fucking horrible. I want to see that son of a bitch burn. Burn. I think Katie. Who do you think?
I see Rosita. I think she's kind of useless. Give what's his face a little more grief.
It's worth mentioning what Norman Reedus said about bring your handkerchiefs. That some big character or it's an emotional death of some kind is
Yeah,
that
I don't want Carol or Daryl to die. I am not accepting that until I see it happen.
I'm
Or
gonna
Carl. I like Carl.
I'm gonna be the person that goes out on the limb, I guess, and says I have a horrible. I said it earlier in the year too, and I hope I'm wrong. I have a horrible Daryl feeling, and I hope I'm fucking wrong. I have a bad Daryl feeling.
I
But
don't want to see it. I like him.
is
Yeah.
Glenn
More
going
Daryl.
anywhere? Might fucking Nicholas try to kill Glenn? Is that happening in the next episode? Is Glenn gonna kill Nicholas?
What?
Ooh.
He has the gun. Nick dug up the
Yeah,
gun.
that's-
He's obviously getting the gun to make a point.
Maybe
I
we
think they're
have
gonna
Nick kill
have-
Glenn.
I think Glenn's gonna try to save Maggie's life somehow and get killed.
But who's who?
It'll be big
Who?
Maggie drama.
Katie, who's this person you keep talking about? I don't think this word means what you think it means. The next week, both Carol and Daryl will be on The Walking Dead.
Oh, that does not bode well.
That does not bode well. That does not bode well. That's horrible. Oh, shit. Okay, guys. I guess, so we've got Richie Ace as Michonne. Ren Renwood says Jesse. I definitely think Jesse's gone.
I
don't
hope
think Jesse makes
Michonne.
it.
Right now, I want Michonne to go.
Tara
She's-
Chan
she's
says
no good.
Judith will die eventually, I think, but I don't think in the
Yeah,
final.
I forgot about Judith.
Scott Dakota, for good measure, kill the priest. LOL. Yeah, for good measure. Priest. Melody Vision says maybe Glenn, but I'd rather see Daryl go.
Right.
Tara Chan says I've said Daryl since forever. Phil, we're in the same boat. Yeah, I've had a weird feeling since the beginning of the year because of that quote, and I feel like I forget someone from the Walking Dead crew was trolling it or saying, oh, don't, everyone says we kill Daryl or people riot, don't tempt us. And I could see them doing it just to say as a big fuck you to people, like not in a bad way, but it's just a big what the hell's going on here moment. It would get the biggest buzz, for whatever that's worth.
It would. It definitely would.
And for emotional reaction, though, I think Carol going would be very sad. I would be upset losing Carol.
Very, very, very upset. Jesse and Michonne, they should go.
Yeah.
And Melody Vision says, aren't there supposed to be a special guest on the Talking Dead? I'm not sure yet. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. So, but someone's gonna die. Dakota says, Joe, brace yourself. It might be Rosita. Ooh. You Chronic, Daryl is not going to die. I hope you were right, because I think there's so much good stuff that Daryl can do in the future, and I hope they don't kill Daryl off.
Well, that relationship with Aaron, Aaron? Is that his name?
Yeah, Aaron. That would be a good... They could kill Aaron.
Well, I want to see that relationship develop.
Me too. Like, do you know who's absolutely safe? And I would be completely ridiculously surprised. Abraham's completely safe.
Yeah, I don't see.
Nothing's happened to Abraham. Yeah, nothing's happening to Abraham. Nothing's happening to Rick, and nothing's happening to Carl. I don't think.
No.
And Maggie, I don't think anything's happening to Maggie by the Joe Justice of the logic that we haven't seen her enough that anything's happening to her. It is really down to Carol or Daryl.
No, I think Sasha's gone.
Yeah, but I don't think that's
gone. I think Carl's girlfriend's gone.
But I agree with you. I think those people die too. I just think one big one dies. One big one dies.
And Carol. I'm team kill Carol. Much as I like Carol, I'd rather Carol go than Daryl go.
Ghetto Toad says, I'm going with the wild card and saying they all live.
Ooh. Are they going to bring it down to the original, 5 again?
No.
Ooh, kill them all?
I hope not.
Kill them all.
No, if Carol or Daryl die, I hope it's saving the other one's life. That would be nice.
It would be nice.
That would be nice. And it's going to be very fun to see what happens. And they have 90 minutes, which is something that's a lot more time, I hope. That's not longer commercials and longer montages. I like it's a Sons of Anarchy episode, but I have a feeling they're actually gonna pump in action and stuff, and we're gonna see a lot more. So I guess this is a good place to cut off. I'd like to thank you guys it's gonna be a bloodbath. Turchan says absolutely.
Judith will die.
You guys in the chat room tonight have been. You guys in the chat room tonight have been awesome, and we got up over 30 people a couple times watching live tonight. I'd like to thank
30
everyone
watching now.
Yeah, that's been tuning in tonight, watching us live. We can't wait for next week. Next week we'll be back, obviously a little later because of the later episode. We'll be on around 11 instead of around 10:30. And if you're watching this later in the week and it's your first time checking us out, please hit that subscribe button. And we do recaps of lots of other shows. We're going to be on the next 2 evenings as well. Tomorrow night to talk about Better Call Saul, and then on Tuesday evening to talk about some Game of Thrones. So please hit that subscribe button so you can get the little notification when we go live. And if you're listening to this on iTunes, again, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Phil the Issues Guy, on YouTube to be notified of the live stuff. And you can email me at igotissuesman@gmail.com, tweet Joe at DirtyLocks, tweet me at igotissuesman. Check out all our stuff at issuesprogram.com. To thank everyone in the chat room: Melody Vision, Terrachan, Carl, Johnny Rico, Richie A. Brohawk Riley, who was in here earlier, Carl, Dakota, I'm gonna miss people. Ghetto Toad, Johnny Rico, Eeyore, fucking Victor cracking me up a couple of times tonight. Renwood, as always, and our regular Walking Dead crew guys. Can't wait for next week for the season finale. Thank you everyone for all your comments, all your likes, all your shares. Keep that up. It really helps us and helps us make our Walking Dead community here bigger. And I'd like to thank all you guys so much. And everyone have a good night. Well, we will talk to you next week.
Support is unbelievably appreciated. Thank you all.
It really is. Wait, here we go. Oh shit. There's some more music, I guess. I'm trying to get end music too.
Peace out, everybody.
Later.
I like it.